No one is truly injured, but someone was.
Okay.
And there's the first words we opened with. No one is injured, but currently was. Alrighty. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a very, very tardy session. I hope this finds you all well. To our fans, I am very, very excited. Folks, you guys overcame a night ambush.
Yay.
So, our fans may have noticed that last week's episode was called just one of the guys, Part 2, Electric Dead Shining Boy Boogaloo.
What?
We'll just say that there were questionable events that occurred. But
And if you want continued explanation, you're going to have to go to the quotes list.
please do.
They can't.
I know they can. But we can go to it much later. Alright, so, if I remember correctly, you guys are resting until daylight, correct?
We already had.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot I wasn't muted.
There's some
Musical interlude.
soft country and western music fills the sky as you sit around the campfire. So, you guys, it was roughly about dawn when your fight finished. So, are you guys gonna wait for nightfall, or are you guys gonna?
We ended last time having slept till noon, so.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Up till noon.
That's right. It is noon. It is noon. Based on the distance that you guys know to the city, you could probably make it there by nightfall.
Let's do it.
You guys also invited the Blood Moon Bards to accompany you back into the city. The Clover, Zim, and Jareth. They're all gonna pack up. I mean, they don't really have much in the way of supplies.
Right. They just leave all of the empty alcohol bottles on the ground.
They arrange them very nicely. You see that Zim is doing this. Zim is taking the bottles and he's like arranging them into like little like rows and stacks at the back of the cave. You see if they're like this. That way somebody can use them for water if they need water.
How thoughtful of you.
The alcohol bottles? I suppose that's smart. Do we need any of them?
Yeah, you're welcome to them if you want them.
I mean, technically I am from Africa some 200 years ago, but sure.
Kappa.
Get by it!
It was supposed to be. I don't know. It takes me a while to get into it.
It sounded Russian to me.
Sorry. I'm gonna go to who's its face? Felix. Felix, would it be helpful if we put in if we cap? You have a create water spell or something like that. Yeah, no, it's not working.
No. No.
I can make water.
Would it be helpful if we carried it in the bottles from the bats?
Oh, you're good.
I mean, as long as everyone has a cup, there is no need. Saves
I
them
don't
both.
think I have one. I don't think it's specified that I carry a cup with me. I'm gonna take some of the bottles then. See, these are useful for carrying water, and then if somebody comes up to you and starts being annoying, then you can also use it to beat them over the head with it.
Alright.
You beat people for being annoying?
Not likely you people, but in cities, I've heard that there are lots of people who try to pickpocket you and who can be very annoying and harass you. So I would hit them. We don't do a whole lot of hitting people over the head in the jungle. Somebody tried to do that with a tiger once. It didn't go well. It was a tiger cub, which meant that he got in a lot of trouble. But the point being, 2 Noahs.
1 Noah.
1
Alright.
Noah, 2 Noah, red Noah, blue Noah.
Alright, so Amari, you've gathered your extra bottles. I'd say what? What'd you guys say? 4 bottles is about a pound.
Depends on the bottle.
Like that, I guess.
Yeah, I'll say you got 0.5 pounds worth of bottles if you take 2.
Wait, how many bottles did you say was found?
Probably about 4 bottles is a pound, I guess. They're pretty
Probably.
thick. They're pretty thick glass ones.
If it's like a beer bottle almost. It doesn't matter. I don't know about that. Sure, cool.
I don't know why, but I just heard my mom yell, "No, I don't have Skittles," in the other room.
I want Skittles.
I know you do.
Okay, so what are we doing?
It's up to you folks.
You folks, what are we doing?
Getting
I
going.
assumed we were going to the city.
Walking
How
to
about
the
we start
city.
moving?
As
Yeah.
planned.
All right,
Wait,
so
we're on. We said we were like on a rise above the city, right? Or something
yep.
like
So basically, you guys are in a hole. You're in a big hole. You're in this basin. You're in this rock basin, and you guys can go up the ramp. There's like a natural slope that you guys can go up to, and there's a path going down, a path going up. The one that goes up goes back through the path to the other side, and the other side goes down, carving through the rock face down towards the canal.
Forward.
All right. So,
I'm down to go. I'm gonna start walking with Stuko. How's Stuko? Is Stuko doing well? I've definitely been feeding Stuko.
Stuko's fine. Stuko's a proud, independent cat. Stuko needs you, but won't admit it.
Is Stuko getting sandy and dusty?
Oh yeah. No, he's sandy. Every night you have to like clean out stuff from between the paw pads.
I'm gonna pick up Stuko while I'm walking. I'm just gonna like be vigorously brushing him off, which he does not appreciate. But I'm just spraying sand everywhere.
Stuko's going. "Ah!" Make an animal handling check with advantage.
Stuko, don't be rude. You are very dirty, and you need. I can't give you a bath right now. Hang on one second. My friends are very confused. Sorry. I meant you people. You said animal handle? Oh, handle animal.
Mm-hmm.
Handle animal. Alright, so I definitely made a mistake. Should not have brought this one. This guy. But whatever. 14.
14. Okay, Stuko hisses a little bit. He bats at you with closed claws. He's being ornery, but he's not being mean.
I will let you down in a moment. When we get in the city, then you won't be dirty anymore, and then we won't have to keep cleaning you all the time. Trust me, I don't feel like doing it either. Stop being. Don't hiss at me.
So he just kind of goes sack of potatoes limp in your arms and just.
Good cat.
Every once in a while, it'll make like noises.
That noise is
That go again?
disturbing.
What? cat noises intensify. So, the sun is hitting its zenith. As you guys are heading down, it's getting warmer. It's nigh on mid to upper 90s now, and it doesn't seem to be getting any less hot. Or
Who has the parasol?
who does have the parasol, guys?
I thought I did because it was made for me, so I figured I had it.
Yep, right there.
Yeah.
Yep. So as you guys are, there's one thing that I have to do.
If someone else would like to use it, Azalea would gladly give it up for them.
I'm gonna take a walk, and if I have like an extra shirt in my bag,
Okay.
I'll just hold it up over my head.
Sure thing. All right. So you guys are,
I'm going to enjoy the sunlight.
that's right. You do get to do all that.
Okay.
Alright, so you alright, so there we go. Alright, awesome. Alright, so you guys, I'm moving you to a new map. Alright, so as you guys descend, you guys are eventually
See nothing but a black square.
Yep. You guys are going down. You've been going down for about 4 hours now. You're working your way down the mountain. It's the going's been steep at some points, but as you're going, you're noticing that things are starting to get more more civilized. So like what was very much steep at the top, just sort of a path that's like beaten in between the mountains. This is actually like a proper like tramped down dirt path. You guys actually see a sign marker after about 3 hours of walking that says Telmarna, with like pointing down towards the city on the plain. And after about 4-ish hours, I'd say it's getting on until about 4 or 5 o'clock. You guys finally, the ground starts to level out, and the rocks are growing less, and you guys are sort of on a you're on a high plateau where you have a very clear view of the plain below, and you hear from in front of you. It's very loud, like you can't miss it. It's not like something you have to check for. You hear a gurgling noise. You hear the sound of a sound of water, essentially.
Okay. Is there an obvious hole?
So, if you guys go a little bit further, the path turns. You see right below you, there's a trying to think of the exact word. Ethan, I feel like you're the person who would best know this. Concrete things that water run down.
Aqueduct?
No.
Gutter?
Drain.
No.
Cistern?
No.
Cisterns collect water.
Yeah.
Describe the
Spillway. That's it. Okay.
okay.
So basically, there's a spillway coming out of where
I
you
would have
guys.
called it a runoff.
Yeah, that's fair too. So where you guys are standing, you're like standing on the side of a mountain, and if you look like down and slightly to your left, you see that there's a spillway, a stone spillway filled with water, which is going forward until it seems to disappear down the side of the mountain, and it seems to be flowing out into this canal that you see leading across the plain as far as the eye can see, out into the unknowable reaches of the desert. Yes. There's a desert on this side, too.
Does it look like this could be used as a water slide?
I mean, after about 30 feet, it kind of drops out of sight. Like so it's like goes like very slightly downhill for like 30 feet, and then there's like it seems to drop. You don't know how far the drop is.
Oh. Well, I'm gonna walk 30 feet forward, and then I can see another 30 feet. What's it look like after that?
Okay, so you like kind of skirting the edge of the trail. You go up and around, and you look, and you see that it seems to drop about 30 feet straight down, and then it levels out again, then drops about like another 20-ish
Well, that's all I can
feet.
see then, if it's dropping 30 feet straight down.
Okay, so you just see it dropping off into oblivion.
Okay. I am not going to try and ride it like a water.
How Felix dies. Water sliding down a mountain.
Is this something that can be considered an obstacle in our path to the city?
Not particularly. I mean, there's a bridge right across it. The trail is snaking more as it's trying to move alongside, like the spillway.
Is there any particular reason why we're focusing on this so much? We can just continue walking to the city?
I mean, you can. So as you guys are walking down, following this spillway, you guys see off to the side of a trail. You see a fairly sizable building. It's fairly sizable. It's a wood building, and there's a little outbuilding. There are 3 horses tied up outside. And as you guys are looking, you see that the door is blowing open and shut.
Does it look like it's supposed to be doing this? Is this like the kind of door with no turny thing handle? There we go. No, jeez, I'm sorry.
Make a perception check.
25 cents.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. You hear a light clanging as the lock is hitting back against itself in the wind.
That very much does not seem okay.
Does it
That
seem
thing.
like the sourceless wind again?
No, you guys feel the wind. You're up on a mountain.
Okay. Do you guys want to go and look at that? Because I do.
Alright, so
I don't see why not.
let me show you guys what you see right now.
Oh, there's lots of reasons not to look at it. Probably because there's something in there that might kill us. But it's
We managed to escape from the other blights. I imagine at least running away we have a chance.
That's a good point.
It has piqued your curiosity. Let us examine it.
What does the shirt say? Is that the irrational one?
Which one?
Me?
Yeah.
It's all fun and games until somebody loses an eye.
Nice.
So as you guys are walking up, also, then you notice this. This is something that you notice. The horses' food and water that have been left out for them are empty. And they've been like kicked over. The horses themselves are not looking too happy.
Felix, I don't suppose you can make water for these horses. Looks like they've been without for a while.
So did something steal the food? Or...
I suspect that whatever was going on in that hut has long since happened, and whoever's there has either dead or deserted, and the horses haven't been able to feed them for a while.
Ben, what is your accent today?
It's the same one it always is.
Okay.
What? It is!
Harsh.
Sounded like a little bit different today.
Sorry.
It
Maybe
really
she
doesn't.
just needs a cup of tea.
Yeah.
25 cents, Tasha.
Morning plug.
You owe Ethan 50 cents now.
For what?
You keep
Thank
apologizing.
Shit balls!
Now you owe me $1 for
If
sharing.
I owed you money for apologizing.
You don't actually. I'm just saying it as like a phrase to bring it up.
Torment you.
Okay.
Or you could
Yes,
get
torment
back
you.
at $5.
I am a
I'm glad I've
cruel
spread this.
human being.
Yeah.
Hush you.
And this is how Harley will eventually rule the world.
By telling people they owe me quarters for apologizing?
Yep.
I tell Andrew that all the time. He's never paid me, actually.
And she won't be sorry about it.
Yep.
If we followed that
Thanks
rule,
for
I
your
would be
contribution
broke.
to the Harley Fund.
My favorite charity, the Feed Harley Foundation.
I
My
mean-
favorite charity is the Feed Me Foundation, and then it could be Harley after that.
Actually, that's true.
Moving
Alright.
along.
All right. So as you guys are kind of walking around outside, Zim turns to you guys and he's like, "This is meant to be the canal keeper's house. This is where the guys who keep the canal live." Like,
I don't think they live there anymore.
I don't know. They were fine when we stopped up here earlier in the week.
And the canals are continuous.
Yes, and they've just conveniently left the door open and forgotten to feed and water the horses for the last several days. Of course. Forgive me.
Wonder if something happened.
It seems
Quick.
like something definitely did.
Quick question. What or who was it that attacked us last week?
We don't know.
Okay, we aren't sure.
It was just a lot of errors.
Okay, cool.
And wait,
And
what did... They killed a couple of them. And they were like people, right? Like they were normal people, the bodies were.
Well, Azalea, I'll say this much: there were 4 people killed. There were 2 bodies. 1 fell in the water. 1 exploded on Felix.
And
Okay, but like, were the 2 bodies, now I'm forgetting, like, were they humans?
Yeah, the 2 bodies that were there were just normal dudes.
oh, also, Andrew, you never sent me that update of what I knew about the things I saw.
Oh, in the dream?
Yeah. If a dream is what it was.
I'm sorry about that.
Harley, what were you asking? Or,
In which case, now that I've checked on that, Azalea was going to ask if we think it might be possible that the people who attacked us came through here first.
well, if we find a lot of arrows inside the theater than 5 last night, then probably. That would give me the idea.
I mean, even if they didn't necessarily attack, could they have possibly run? If they thought they were in danger?
There was definitely one that got away, I think.
One did.
I meant the people who are seemingly not here.
Oh.
Like, if maybe they encountered the same people.
Why don't we go into the hut carefully? It will probably answer a lot of the questions that we have.
All
I'm
right.
gonna take out my quarterstaff, and I'm gonna start walking slowly over.
Alrighty.
If I can.
All right. So the door's right here. Sorry, the door's right here. So
Okay, see, part of the thing that's annoying about being a DM is that it doesn't automatically move me over to the map that you're on.
oh, okay.
Are we supposed to see what's happening?
You might not have fog of war.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. All right. So you walk over the doors. Anybody else going in?
Yes.
I'm filling the trench with water.
Yeah. The horses seem very grateful, and they're just.
I rolled a 16 for stealth. Just
All right. You're stealthing. All right. So
I'll
who?
come up kind of behind her, but at, like, quite a distance. Like, waiting for her to say everything's okay first.
Sure. All right. So Amari, you open the door to this place, and this is what you see. You see on the floor, right in front of it, there's a man lying in a pool of, well, what used to be a pool of blood, clutching his throat. You see, like, between his hands, there's this, like, down his arms, there's this sticky, rusty, brownish red residue.
It's dried blood. Just say it's dried blood.
And you see so you looking around, you see there's a bench over by a window which would look out towards the horses, and there's a table, a thick old table with lots of scars cut in it. There's a little kitchen area off to your right, and ahead of you there's stores with barrels, and you see that sort of curled up in front of another one is a younger man. You guess him to be in his early 20s or so, with a goatee mustache, and he seems to have. You just see he's turned towards you. You see his eyes are wide open, and you just see there are a bunch of gaping stab wounds in his chest.
His eyes are open?
Yes.
Well, he knows who killed him. That's for sure. And there's nothing else that I see, no immediate threats.
Make a perception check.
Not necessarily. Somebody could have come up from behind, put an arm around his chest, and stabbed him in the chest several times.
That's also a possibility. Did you follow me?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Cool.
Because that'll actually be healthy. Wow.
As a note for the DM running this, I would not have followed, but I would be keeping my distance and watching through the scope of thorns.
Alright.
18 perception.
18 perception. You don't see anything. You look around. You see that there's you look around. There is on the table by the window. You notice that there is starting to stink. There's food on the table. There are 3 plates of food. There are 3 plates of rice and some sort of stew sitting on the table.
Can I check the bodies to see how long they've been dead? And then I'm going to turn to Ven. Ven, do you have any sort of experience with poisons or anything? Would you be able to tell if the food is poisoned at all? I don't really know how that works.
I'm a tinker. Why do you think I would know? Take a look.
I don't know, because you're the first person standing next to me. Go find Azalea then. Azalea.
Take a look.
Yeah, I was gonna say, after they're in there for a second, I'm gonna call after them and be like, "Hey guys, did you find anything? Is everything okay?"
No, it was not okay, but it seems to be okay now because everybody is dead. Can you come look at some food? It's poisoned.
Cough, Sir Venna, you would know that your brother is an alchemist.
I mean, I can see
Yes,
what I know.
I am gonna go take a look at the food, DM, and see.
Sure.
Any of my rogue training
Yes.
taught me about poisons.
Yes.
I'll walk over to the door.
That's pretty obvious.
Azalea, you just step over the bodies. I know it's kind of gross, but we could use your help.
Azalea looks extremely unsettled and kind of freaked out by the bodies, but she's gonna gather her strength up and walk over anyway, trying really hard not to look.
Not bad. 19.
What kind of check am I making?
Sorry, profession or knowledge nature or something along those lines.
Can I see what I can remember about
No.
if I ever read anything about poisons?
Sure, make a straight in check.
Final answer?
Yes. Well, tell me, what would you like to use?
I'm trying to think. Probably some sort of, maybe knowledge nature to see if I ever read anything about, poisons used for...
Alright, justifiable.
Cool. Roll well, please, little die. I did not roll well. That would be an 11.
An 11, okay, sure. And what'd you roll, Tasha?
A natural 3, so I don't think the final nothing.
Alright, I'm already gonna stand back as you watch, Azalea's standing on the bench, examining, a carrot, and you have Ben's
Pulls
going.
out a pocket magnifying glass.
Ben's like Ben has like a little chunk of like
Sherlock Holmes style.
Ben has like a little chunk of like chicken. She's like. As far as you guys can tell, this food is just spoiled.
Okay. Felix is supposed to come in as soon as he hears there's dead people and examine the corpses.
Okay.
Yeah, did I figure out? I rolled a 19 on my survival check. Did I figure out how long they've been dead?
They've been dead a while. They've been dead at least 3 days.
Okay. I was gonna ask that too.
Yeah. It's pretty obvious from just your experience, Felix. I mean, these men are dead. You also notice there appears to be like a little hallway back of the room right there.
Ooh, I'm gonna go down it.
You're gonna go down it?
Yes, with my staff out.
All right, sure thing.
Once Azalea finishes examining the fruit, she's kind of gonna like stand there trying not to look at the bodies, and it's pretty obvious that she's quite freaked out.
Azalea, if you're
Ben is
uncomfortable,
going
you
to
can
take her
always
by the
step aside.
shoulder and just say, why don't you go see if you can help feed the horses?
Yeah,
I use a little bit of calming presence.
Yeah.
that sounds like a fantastic idea. I think I'll do that. Thanks,
Okay.
guys. Hope you can handle this in here. Let me know if you need me for anything or if you find anything interesting. And she's kind of gonna like
Just-
open the door.
Azalea, you go outside and you see that it appears that the Blood Moon Bards are investigating the outbuilding. So you hear Zim and Jareth arguing from inside, and you see Clover has like a bucket of oats, and she's like scratching the one horse's nose.
Azalea's gonna go over and just help them take care of the horses and like pet them and give them some love and care.
Yeah, no, you
More
go
up her alley.
you go over and help, and you find that there's plenty of there's enough supplies to saddle, bridle, care for 3 horses. There's enough food to feed them for quite a while. So in there's also some like basic gardening tools. I mean, the usual things you'd expect to find in a shed.
Okay.
All right. Meanwhile, Amari, you were wandering down a creepy dark hallway.
How long is
I
the
bet
hallway?
Amari.
Just a little bit. It's a little bit back, and
For like traps or people or anything.
and then it goes to the right.
Did you hear Tasha?
What did you say, Tasha? I'm sorry.
I'll go with her. Keep my eye
Okay, all right. So
out
the
or
two.
anything.
Yeah, sure. What was your perception? Your perception's still not at 20. You're still in mode. Yes, that mode. So, Amari, you're sneaking down. Ben's behind you going. All right. So as you guys go around the corner here, you guys find that there's a back bedroom with 3 sleeping rolls. 3 sleeping rolls. There is another man. You guess him to be in his 30s. He's
Teddy there?
no. He's a rather large man, rather rotund. He has a shaved head, and and next to him you see that there is a there. What? What are you?
Looks like an icon.
Okay,
Zoom in on it.
zoom in on what?
The icon.
Which one?
Next to him. The guy who's sleeping. The one that you're talking about.
What?
It's what it is. It's a breastplate.
Yeah,
It is.
it's a breastplate. That's not there. All right, so as you see that there are 3 bedrolls spread on the floor in this back room. There are 3 sort of like knapsacks, a dresser pushed against one wall, and this large bald man, with the shaved head, sort of he's in a corner. He's like holding, there's like a sword in his gut. A sword with a black. It's odd. It has like this cloth wrapped handle, but the cloth is like made of like black and gold cloth, and this guy's like clutching his stomach. It looks like he has some cuts up and down his arms. Like this is all stuff you see very readily. and this guy's like clutching this sword that's in his gut, and he's obviously also very dead. I mean, he's lying.
Is the
Also
style of the
3d6?
weaponry in his stomach at all similar to that of the weapons that we took off of the people who attacked us last night?
At a glance, no. The guys who attacked you last night, they attacked with your usual sort of Jalbari weapons. This is not a kind of weapon that you recognize. Like, well, Jalbari swords are usually curved, more.
Ye old stereotypical curved sword.
Yes, ye
oldie scimitar.
Ye oldie tropey scimitar. Yes, this is a straight blade. This is a straight blade with a hilt.
Amari's gonna pick it up. Do you think Azalea could probably identify this? Do you think?
Alrighty.
Azalea knows everything.
Say that to Van. Also, Azalea lives in our library. Also, and does the body also look like it's been dead for 3 days?
Yes.
I'm gonna I'm gonna pull the sword out.
Okay. Oh, you like there's like a sloughing noise as you do, and you see like some guts spill out a little bit on the floor.
Okay. I'm gonna look at it. I'm assuming I don't really recognize anything about it, but I'm gonna go and take it to Azalea, if possible.
Alright, so you take it to Azalea.
Okay.
Alright, so you take it to Azalea. Azalea is outside right now. Is there anything else you guys would like to do while you're in that room back there, ladies?
There's no real sign of a struggle here, right? The blood isn't splattered. It just looks like this guy's been stabbed in his sleep.
Well, he's not in any of the bedrolls.
Yeah, that's weird. But is there splattering? Like, is there any sort of, like, are things broken or anything?
Well, if you guys go back in the kitchen and look, you can see that in the kitchen, like, everything looks to be in order in the kitchen for the most part. You do notice that one of the barrels by the guy who was stabbed multiple times is knocked over. There's, like, some knocked over pottery and, like, foodstuffs by him. But other than that, nothing else is out of order.
Okay. So maybe they were awake. A little bit. Wait, you said the barrels were knocked over?
Like you see where the second guy is, just like that barrel right there? Right there.
Stupid trick.
There you go.
Whoa. Yeah.
The only guy in purple, yeah, that one. That barrel is meant to represent that there's like 1 or 2 barrels and some pottery right there that has been knocked over. Looks like that guy took it out when he fell.
Okay, but it doesn't look like anybody was like rooting through here.
Yeah, no.
So random killings. I'm going to start searching bodies.
Yeah, I would like to roll my healing skill to see if I can tell anything more about the wounds on them.
Okay.
What if there were more wounds than we're seeing? What kind of weapons did it? Like, what's going on? Anything I can find. Just take a general search with my...
Okay, sure thing.
I'll go outside, find that mirror, and say, you might want to come take a look inside.
Make a perception check. You there?
Me?
Yeah. I actually...
13.
Okay, 13, what? And a 1 for you too, Felix. Because you said you were going to root through.
No, I said that.
Oh, sorry. Alright, so,
I'm making a perception check?
No.
I'm making a medicine check, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try and determine cause of death and all that. So you make one of those. Alright.
Good.
So, Amari, you go through the bodies. You're able to essentially find... So by combing through, you're able to find... You're able to find more unperishable food than you can carry. There's flour, there's oats, there's oatmeal, there's cornmeal.
On the bodies?
Not on the bodies, just around the apartment. Never mind. I don't know why I'm telling you this. Yes, specifically on the bodies. Specifically on.
Like what?
Sorry. Specifically on the bodies, you guys essentially you are able to recover 1 gold ring. You're
We have a loot page, guys.
no,
I
you
think we
guys.
started one.
Oh, I don't know. So you guys are able to recover 1 gold ring. If you want to take their shoes seem unscathed, and the guy in the bedroom and the guy closest to the door, their shoes seem to have escaped any blood damage.
1 gold ring, you said?
1 gold ring. You're able to find about 15 gold pieces on their bodies. No weapons on either of the the 2 guys in the main room. The guy in the back room has like a very small like a monogrammed pen knife in his pocket, and that guy is also wearing some sort of talisman, a wooden talisman around his neck.
Okay. I want to take the talisman.
Sure.
Can I identify? Does it look familiar? Like, what is it of?
At a glance, it seems to be letters. It seems to be letters or hieroglyphs that you don't understand.
Okay. I will go. I'm gonna pocket it with the intention of. I can't spell hieroglyph right now.
Sure thing.
Yes, I can. I'm gonna at some point go and ask Felix about that. The ring. Is it just like is it like a wedding ring?
Yeah, it was on a guy's wedding finger.
Okay.
It was
Wedding finger.
His wedding finger. It was the guy closest to there was the guy closest to the door.
Okay. But they don't have any sort of identification.
No.
So they weren't necessarily. They don't seem to have been like important or anything.
Well, there is one thing that you do notice about them. They are all wearing blue headbands. All of them are wearing like blue cloth headbands tied to the back.
Do I get any sort of magical sense from them?
Do you get a magical sense?
Do I?
Not from the men, but you do from the sword you picked up.
Oh, it keeps that sword.
You might want to see what it does first.
Also, you wanted to identify it. You should probably show it to the weaponsmith.
I will get to that. But now that's interesting. I'm gonna take one of the headbands just to ask about later.
Sure.
Yeah, my medicine check was an 18.
Medicine check was an 18, and you're trying to verify the cause of death?
I'm just examining the bodies for anything. Cause of death, more wounds we didn't notice, type of weapon making the wound. Anything I can find.
Alright, sure thing. As you're examining the bodies, you see that the guy who's further back, the guy who fell into sort of like the food supplies as he was going down, he has defensive wounds on his arms.
Okay.
Pretty obviously. For all the world, it looks like the guy. It looks like the guy who was sitting with the guy in the green. The only wound you can find on him is that his throat has been slashed from ear to ear.
Yikes. Like execution style slashed.
Yeah. And the guy in the bedroom, best as you can tell, it was an upward stabbing wound that killed him. And
Upward stabbing wound.
yes, there are no other real marks on him. You see that there's more blood on his outfit, Then the other two, there's like smeared blood on like his outfit and his arms.
Hmm.
Some splattered on his face.
Okay.
So it seems like they were somewhat violently killed.
When he was, do the stab wounds in the man in the front room who was stabbed multiple times in the chest, are they deep like a sword stab wounds, like the man in the back room, or are they like shallow, like he was stabbed with a knife?
The guy in the front room, who was stabbed multiple times. Yeah, those are deep stab wounds. They appear to be as swords.
And does it look like all of them were lethal, and someone was just stabbing him over and over again pointlessly, or does it look like he was really injured and then finally got a lethal hit?
It looked like. I mean, to your knowledge, all three of them would have been grievous injuries, but it was probably the last one that killed him. There's like two on the right side, one on the left.
Okay.
It's probably the one on the left that just killed him outright.
And he's the only one that shows any signs of having put up a struggle.
Yeah.
And that's the there's no other signs of a scuffle other than right around him.
Yeah.
Okay.
And which one was that, did you say?
That fella right there, the one who's in the main room furthest from the door.
Okay, thank you. This is concerning.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wave this sword around a couple times, see if it does anything weird.
Oh yeah, the other thing I'd like to do, I'd like to cast Detect Magic and look around and see if there's anything that giving off magical auras.
What in the world is happening?
Sirens, it sounds like.
That would be on my end, sorry.
Is the building on fire again?
Andrew, did you?
I
funny.
sincerely hope not, and it's not funny.
All right. So wait, what was it?
That wasn't a joke.
What was your question? Who asked me a question?
I'm pretty sure that if the building was on fire, you'd be hearing the fire alarms and not just sirens.
So somebody else is on fire.
Okay,
That's their problem, not mine for once. I've had enough freaking out about my building being on fire today for one day. Thank you very much.
Andrew.
Yes.
I'd like to cast Detect Magic and look and see if there's anything magical around.
Sure.
Are we going to get to my perception as well?
Yes, absolutely. I'm sorry. We're really kicking around here. A lot of people are trying to do a lot of things. So Noah, you cast Detect Magic inside the house. You don't notice anything. There's nothing magical here. You get to the bedroom and you feel almost like a tingle, but you can't pinpoint it. You can't get anything definite.
Okay.
All right. And
do you sense anything from the sword?
Is the sword in the place where I can see it when I'm using Detect Magic?
I haven't left the house yet.
oh, okay, you haven't left the house. So as you walk over to your friend Amara, you look at this sword, and this sword is just bathed in black light. It's just bathed in this ebbing, flowing black magic.
Have I seen magic like that before? Do I know anything?
Have you seen magic like that before? Yeah,
Yeah.
you have. That is necromancy. That is necromantic magic.
I would like to inform her. Your sword, is necromantic.
I'm
That's
sorry,
cool.
I'm not even half paying attention. What sword is this?
It was the sword that we found in the guy in the back room.
Okay.
He had a sword like pinning him to the through
Yes,
the
yes.
So
I
took it.
was slightly paying attention. Sorry, Ethan and I have been
Good.
trying to do the conversation that Ben and Ted had last session, so we haven't entirely been paying attention at all in the
fine.
last God knows how long this chat has
It's
been
okay.
happening.
Yeah, so he's gonna say your sword you have there is very necromantic.
Okay, probably not totally cool, but I'm done with that.
Just as the DM question here, you're a druid. How are you dealing with a metal sword?
So I've been told that I can't do metal armor. I would have to look and see if it says anything about metal
I don't
weapons.
believe you can use. Is it a longsword?
It's a normal longsword.
I don't believe that druids can use longswords.
I'll check. You might be right. I'm kind of just messing with it right now because I'm.
Alright. Alright, and
Can I spin it around a couple of times?
yeah, sure. It feels odd in your hand. It feels keen. It feels sharp. It feels dangerous. You feel dangerous. Meanwhile, back outside with Ethan, Fen, you're looking around. You're trying to get a high. So every once in a while, your eyes just keep drifting back to the city in the distance. You see, you get a good view. You see that there is a pathway. Once you come down off this mountain, there is a paved pathway under vine trellises that leads along the canal to the city.
There's a long pathway of what now?
There's a long pathway with trellises, with like vine-covered trellises.
Okay. And this leads into the city?
It leads up to the city gates, or so it seems. Like the canal runs through the city.
And how far away is the beginning of this?
Well, you guys crossed over the beginning of the canal. You would assume it's from here. It's about a 3-hour walk. 3-hour walk. She walks about 3 miles an hour. DM does not compute. It's a ways.
Like 9 to 10 miles.
Yeah.
Okay. At this point, I have also been dragged inside by my sister.
Your sister came up to you, said, "There's stuff inside you might want to look at," and pointedly walked away again.
That's what I figured. Drama.
Your sister was righteously pissed off.
Trauma.
I don't know if it's righteous, but we're not going to argue like that.
Can we make that a meme? Can somebody make that a GIF?
Going, drama.
Trauma.
I will actively record myself doing it and make it a GIF for you.
You want to talk about drama, Mr. Super Secret Weapon Designing Backstory?
Shut up. Seriously, shut up. They don't know all of that.
I only know that you were a weapons designer and that you're really secretive about it.
Shut up. Anyway, I would like to make a check inside of the building looking for... First, I want to look at the bodies to see if I can tell what type of weapon was used on them, if it's all that sword that was found. And I want to make also a weapons crafting check on the sword.
Sure. All right, go ahead and do both of those.
So, perception first.
Yes, sir.
3.
3! Dang! There's a lot of blood! Oh gods, there's a lot of blood! Oh, the blood! Oh my god! You feel the bile moving up in your throat and you swallow it back down.
So, my weapons crafting check... See, Pathfinder's a little bit annoying in that there is no specific weapons crafting.
Uh-huh.
So I only have craft firearms, even though I've been working with weapons
It's
a
fine.
lot.
It's fine.
Okay, so I got an 11 on that.
11. All right. So you were this is a fine, slick blade.
I suppose I should have told you what I was looking for most specifically, which was I was hoping to see if this was a blade specifically crafted to be enchanted, or if it was more of just like a foot soldier's blade. Pleasant.
Sorry about that, folks.
That was a very lame 3.
I'm sorry. Okay, you know my burps happen with or without my permission. All right, so
Or without you.
I can't live
So where's that?
Okay, now that we're done making fun of Andrew's acid reflux, we can move along. So, this is a fine blade, sir. This is so. Wait, do you pick it up and like mess with it?
If Amari will let me.
Can I interject for a second with a question here?
Yeah.
As Kira brought up, you said it was a scimitar blade. Is it a scimitar or a longsword?
No, sorry. The blades that the guys were using last night, what you took off them, those were like scimitar-y type blade. Those are the weapons they were using. This one is a long sword. That's why it seemed out of place to you.
Thank you.
Is that good and clear?
you're
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So this is a fine blade. So this is meant to be enchanted. You see that there are runes written along the blade. This is made of steel. This is
point of
old
fact, I'm
work.
holding it out for him to see. I have not let go of it.
Oh, you haven't let go of
Can
it.
I make a linguistics check to see if I can read the runes?
Absolutely. All right.
7.
7?
Every time I roll it that it matters, it's horrible, and then I roll it when it doesn't matter, and it's a nat 20.
Is this your new dice?
Yes.
Gosh.
So
It happens to
Ethan,
me all the time.
you're running your hands along it, and you're saying, Black
Lives
Can I
Matter.
Can I help
black.
him?
You can certainly try.
So I'd like to walk up and be like, so I've looked around, and this blade is magic. It's specifically necromantically magical, and I think it was used to sacrifice that man.
Interesting.
What was it sacrificing him to?
Struggle. This one put up a struggle, and the other one was killed in his sleep. But that man is cut in the same way you slice for sacrifices across the throat.
Like a dog.
What would it be sacrificing him to?
I don't know, but the blade is necromantic, and that's evil and sacrificial seeming.
As a part of my check for the blade, now that he has said that, I would like to additionally look and see if there's any symbols like crests of an elder god type symbol.
All right, sure. You take a good hard look at it. You see that there are many. There's an oddness to this in that there is nothing of that sort. There is the runes on the blade, and there is this strange handle. At least from what you can see of the blades that's being extended to you. I mean, Amari, how chill are you with him touching the sword?
What do you mean? Like if he's like touching the blade or stuff? I'll turn it over to him. Just give it back when you're done, if you don't mind. I want to try a couple of things with it. That was violent.
I'd like to poke around outside and see if I can find any tracks or anything.
Sure. All right. Make a survival check. Thinmere. As you're examining it, if you flip it down and you look at the base of the hilt, and you do find a crest.
Okay.
All right. So what you see is you see this I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
You owe somebody 50 cents.
No, it's I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. It's 75 cents.
You know what?
I'll take it.
You
Yeah,
think
you're
we
right.
need to make a real life group loot where every time someone apologizes,
Yes.
it goes into that? And eventually, we'll have enough money to, I don't know, buy ice cream.
At
There's
the end of May, we have to rectify all.
yes.
Anyway, continuing on.
Basically, what it is it appears to be a script S. So it's like a script S, but it has like 2 lines of ink, and there's like a dagger through it. 2 lines of ink. It's like an S with 2 lines of ink and a dagger through the middle.
Okay. I don't recognize this in any way.
What kind of check would you like to make to try and
Does it-
recognize it?
History?
Go for it.
Does it match the wooden symbol that was found?
No.
Freaking 6! I'll show it to the librarian.
Harley, you can make a knowledge history check if you so desire.
Sure.
This
so
is
I'm outside. Are you coming outside to?
If he's going outside with it,
I'm telling
definitely
Amari to go
following.
outside with it because
Okay.
she's not going to let me go out of her sight with it.
alright. Also then Mir, I whispered you.
When Amari walks up to Azalea, just so that you know, she looks super distracted, like she's thinking about something, and looks really sad.
Oh.
Are you okay?
Huh?
Are you alright? You seem kind of spaced.
I'm.
Oh my gosh, I get
She's just kind of like stammers for a second, and then like smiles like she's covering up. It's like, no, I'm good, really.
I'm
Am
gonna
I there?
It's extremely
Yeah,
obvious that she's lying, but she doesn't want to burden anybody.
If you want to talk about it, we can. But otherwise, you don't have to.
I mean, I just the bodies I haven't not since I
It's kind of hard seeing dead stuff. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have just shoved you in there.
no it's okay. You couldn't have known that the last time that happened, it was
Your family or something?
my best friend.
I'm very sorry. That would be really
I'm
hard.
close enough to hear this.
Thanks.
I mean, I went out there with Amari, so
I was looking for tracks outside.
Azalea
Andrew,
doesn't
am I
really.
close enough to hear?
Are you asking? Who are you asking?
Andrew.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So, well, Azalea, how private are you being?
I mean, Azalea's not a particularly loud person, but she's not like trying to hide the conversation.
I mean, if you're looking for tracks, if you're looking for tracks over on that side of the house, yeah, sure, you could hear.
Okay.
But I did want to say,
Yeah.
Thenmir would kind of like give her a sidelong glance for a second and just go, I'm going to be a hypocrite here. But it is best not to keep secrets of something that dire.
That means that you have to spill all of your secrets now.
Wait, what?
I mean to say that it is best to talk when you have issues
What do you-
like that.
what do you- I wasn't trying to keep it a secret. It just, why would that come up normally? I don't
Yeah, that's actually
usually
a
tell
really good
people I just met yesterday that a couple of months ago my best friend showed up dead after randomly disappearing. I mean, that's not something you usually talk about, is it, right? She seems like
Azalea?
she's starting to panic.
I think
Azalea,
we need to drop this
calm
conversation.
down and distract yourself by telling us if you
You-
recognize this symbol.
Azalea will go over and look at it.
Sure, make a history check.
Ben's gonna come over to Azalea and just quietly like rub her back in a calming way.
Azalea is thankful for it, but isn't gonna say anything. She'll just kind of like look over at her and like smile a little bit and then go back to looking at the thingy.
Felix is gonna stay in the house with the corpses. There's less drama.
Wow.
Quotes list. Quotes list.
You got it.
19.
19. All right. You don't recognize this.
I'm sorry, guys. It doesn't really look familiar. Am I aware that the blade is necromantic? By the way.
Not unless somebody told you.
Okay, cool. I wasn't sure if I would know
Like,
since it's one of my opposed schools.
do you take it? Do you flip it? Do you look at it? Like, are you touching it? Are you holding it? Are you just looking at the symbol?
I mean, it depends. Did they hand it to me to look at it?
That's up to you, Amari.
I'm standing right there, so like I'll hand it to her.
Sure thing.
Then yeah.
Okie doke. Alrighty, so as you alright, so I mean, what else do you guys want to do? There's three dead guys, 3 horses, and a apparently magic sword.
I would like to look at Amari, and I would like to say, after she's given Azalea a chance to see the symbol, may I take a look at the sword one more time?
Amari will hesitate for like it's like a half second. Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm being weird about it. It's just a really cool sword, and I can't usually use long swords, and I've always wanted to,
Hey,
and this one seems to work
Amari,
well. Yeah.
I don't like this sword.
Why?
I
You can
don't
give it to him.
know. I just don't.
At this point, I kind of
Feels
like
wrong.
I kind
it
of like
feel weird and
hastily
alien?
snatch the sword,
Then. What talk?
and I would like to take some scraps of cloth if I have them, or like a cloak from one of the corpses inside. And I'm going to wrap the sword in it, hang it from my pack on my back, look at Amari and say, "You needn't worry right now. I have no way of using this anyway, so I have no desire for it. But I have great desire that you not hold it for now, until I
Am
have
I
a
missing
better
something?
idea for it."
Okay,
Why?
you're all acting kind of weird. What is up with this sword?
Okay, I will be honest. It felt a little bit weird when I came near it. Like it felt kind of weird and alien or something like that. But I probably shouldn't mess with it too much. But I really do want to try something with it.
Amari,
Listen, trust me. I promise I'm in my right mind. It's okay.
Okay,
know
but
that-
if you weren't actually in your right mind, then we wouldn't know, and you could definitely say I'm in my right mind to make us think you were in your right mind, so we'd give you the sword so you could do weird shit with it.
Okay.
Hold
First
on.
of all, language is not good.
Am I missing something about this sword?
Why don't you like it, Azalea?
Me?
No, Azalea.
Okay.
Azalea, why don't you like it?
I just don't. It felt wrong.
Okay, I know. Okay, so it makes everybody feel. Can you give it? Can you give it back?
no.
Hang on 1 second. I'm sorry. Why?
Because you should not have it.
Why?
I realize you have no reason to trust me, but I
Guys,
am a weapons crafter, and if you recall, our small friend that is indoors did specify it to be necromantic.
I'm
This is a
aware.
kind of evil I have experienced very little of, and I wish none of you to be exposed to
Okay,
it.
well, why do you? If you have little experience with it, why are you trying to take away from somebody who actually does have experience with
I
it?
don't
Because I am a
think that you
caster.
should be. I don't think that you guys should have that.
Okay, something is messing with both of you such that you're now copying each other. But I would really appreciate it if you would give it back.
I
I don't
book it. I'm running
I'm
for the
trying to
city.
take the sword.
No, it's hanging from my pack, and I'm running for the
I
city.
know. As you're going, I'm trying to grab it. It's
I'm
wrapped.
Hey, it's going
I'm
on.
running. I'm running after him. Okay.
What's your speed,
Apparently.
Amari?
Mine is. I'm gonna full round sprint after you if I have to.
I mean,
It's
I'm
30
full
feet.
round sprinting to the city, so.
I'm going to cast Acid Maw on Stuko and have Stuko run after him.
Hey,
Make an animal handling check.
None
with
of you were getting on one of
disadvantage.
the horses?
DM, can you
With
check
disadvantage?
Yes,
the
Why?
I like this plan.
chat, please?
Can I climb onto a horse?
Okay, to be
Am I
honest,
tall enough to do that?
Actually, yeah, I would have noticed the horses that are there. I would have
Yeah.
gotten on
no,
them.
you cannot.
I'm not gonna wreck
retcon
on it
that.
though.
Yeah,
I'm not
no.
gonna
I
wreck
was
on it.
still.
that.
I'm still standing by the horses.
No,
Can I
I'm
get
just
up on
I'm mad at
board?
myself. I'm not retconning.
Yeah.
Okay, number one. Why am I rolling with disadvantage?
You'll find out.
I suck.
Yes, I do.
Okay, well I rolled the same thing twice and it's a 15.
All right. Stuco gives you like a look of like, what the hell, lady, and then starts chasing him.
I just want him to get. I just want him to get in front, and he can. He's got a speed of 40 feet, so he should be. He should catch up with.
He's
catch up with us
yeah,
pretty quickly.
he's closing. All right, Azalea, what are you doing?
Am I able to get up onto the horse?
Make an acrobatics check.
Heh. Be interesting.
DM,
Yes,
Is there like
I
a
see it.
stool
are you
there?
checking the Roll20 chat?
Yeah, yes, I'm just trying to
there are
run
like
it for
15
5
different-
people.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, I said something
I-
that sort of would have like a bit back that would have affected this a bit, but
I got a 6.
A 6. Azalea, you leap up onto the thing and then you just like fall right over the top of the railing.
Can I see if I can get someone who's around, like one of the bards or something, to help me?
Sure, make a persuasion check or a diplomacy check or something.
Okay. Would they? Okay. Hopefully, I'm not as good at those anymore. Oh darn it! Hold on. That's a 5.
5. You just yell,
Help, please, horse.
"Help, please, horse!" Everybody just kind of stares at you.
Please, I want to get on. Short.
So you said that the city was downhill, right?
Yes, it is, sir.
And is there still that runoff, that concrete runoff on the side of
Yes,
the,
there
the
is.
road? Okay. I would like to periodically jump back and forth on either side of that to try and dissuade my followers,
Sure
or my
thing.
followers, the people following me,
Yes.
to kind of like slow them down, trying to be more acrobatic than them.
Yes. Sure thing. Alright, so you, give me a second here. I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep up with everybody.
You're okay.
This is freaky.
Do we need to just pause while you catch up with stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
I never expected something like this to happen to me. I really never expected this.
I 3000% did. Like as soon as I picked that, I'm like, oh darn it, I'm gonna be fighting.
I have an idea of exactly what's going on here, but
No,
It's
you
definitely
don't.
the sword.
uh,
I love how Felix just doesn't know any of this is going on.
I guarantee you, I'm gonna pick that thing up and I'm gonna try and kill you guys with it at some point.
Okay, so Thin, you look back. There's a cat. Okay, Thin, I need you to make an acrobatics check. I need the cat to make an acrobatics check. Azalea, I need you to make either a ride check or an animal handling check or something along those lines.
Okay.
All right.
Did you get my acrobatics check, Andrew?
Yes, I did. All right. Also, did you make a perception check with
Me?
this with advantage? You there? Yes.
Me?
Yes, you.
17.
17. All right. So as you're sprinting back and forth, you feel up, and that weight is not there.
I turn around.
You turn around. Stuco like slides to a stop next to you.
Sorry.
Yep.
Stuco isn't going. I'm not gonna have Stuco attack. I just want Stuco to like rise up. And Stuco, I think, is kind of big. Like he's not like saber-tooth like tiger size, but he's big. And he's definitely gonna like kind of rise up.
Do I see
like,
my
kinda
sister
snarl.
standing there holding the sword?
How do you have the sword? What?
Make a perception
Do I turn
check.
around and see my
What?
sister standing there holding the sword?
Make a
with my
perception
17
check.
perception?
Oh
Do I have to make
no!
another perception check?
Yes, you do.
What is happening?
2.
I'm not chasing after you.
2, you turn around. All you know is the sword's not there. Amari's Azalea is thundering past on a horse down the side of a mountain, yelling, "Wow, horse!" Just charging down the side. And your sister is gone, and so's the sword that was on your back.
What is going on?
I pull out Black Rose, and I go sprinting back to the area where I left with the sword.
Wait, where did the sword go? Did Azalea grab it?
We don't know.
You hear the distance. Ah!
Does anybody know who has the sword?
Azalea, make another animal handling check.
Okay. Hopefully it's better this time.
Something happened out of order.
13!
We probably should have rolled initiative.
A 13. Okay, the horse is. You're now. Okay, so you're no longer galloping straight at the side of the mountain. You're now, like, following the path down. The horse is spooked as heck.
Sorry, I'm sorry, buddy. I don't know your name, so I'll just call you buddy. But I'm sorry, but we need to get that sword because they're not gonna use it the right way and they're gonna do something bad with it.
Okay, so eventually you find, like, a little, like, there's, like, a little sandy basin, like, off to the side a little bit, and the horse kind of, like, stops and is, like, chomping, trying to get back up. Make another animal handling check.
Please roll better. Please, dice, please. 12.
12. The horse starts, like, grudgingly start walking back up the mountain very slowly.
I'm sorry, buddy.
By the way, when I said that I had hung it from my backpack,
Yes.
I had, like, put it through the straps of my bag against my back, like, behind the backpack.
Okay.
Would I have felt it being taken out? Would I know when it disappeared from my pack? With a 17 perception?
Not with a certain someone's sleight of hand.
Freak you, Tasha! Freak you! Alright, I get back to the location.
You're acting weird. What do you think I'm gonna do? I'm a freaking rogue.
I get back to the location where I had first taken the sword and started running. And I pulled out Black Rose by this point.
If Stuko notices that the sword is gone, I'm gonna call like Stuko should come. Well, I guess if I see him coming back, I'm gonna like run at him. If I haven't noticed anything, since I probably haven't.
All right, can I have a second here?
Yes.
Because I keep trying to say it and I keep getting cut off. I have already gotten back to the area. I've gotten Black Rose out.
Yes.
And I have made a kind of connection at the fact that the sword is gone, and so is my sister. That my sister is the one who has grabbed the sword. So,
Fair.
I point Black Rose at my chin. Like this. Under my head. And I scream, "Cervena! Bring back the sword and give it to me, or your dearest brother dies."
Felix walks outside and just.
You feel like a lot better as a last session before you royally pissed your sister off.
Also, this is so ridiculous. You're going to shoot yourself if
Yes,
she doesn't
then
give
you'll
you
do
the
it.
sword? If she doesn't do it, then you're never going to get this. It's a loss in either situation. Just blow your head off. Yeah, screw it. Blow your head off then. That's what you're going to do. That's totally gonna. Just call the bluff. I'm totally going to metagame this. You should totally call the bluff.
Alright.
Do it.
So,
You
Cervena,
can even hear him.
Cervena, you're close enough to hear this.
Okay, one sec. You just sent me
Come
some
on.
stuff.
Do I
Yes.
hear this from the house?
Yes, you do!
That's what you get for going inside.
Okay. I think you have an idea of where I'm going. Andrew?
Yes, I know exactly where you're going.
Alright.
Azalea,
Do you know what I'm doing, or do you need me to type it out?
type it out, just so I'm sure. Azalea, make an
Okay.
animal handling check for me.
Non-natural 20.
Alright, so all of a sudden,
I figured out how to ride a horse.
you guys near the cabin, you guys look over and here comes Azalea up the mountain. Dun dun dun! Dun dun dun! Just
Why are you
gallops!
singing the A-Team theme?
You just see,
Da-da-da.
Now it's Indiana Jones.
you just see Azalea
I
just,
know it's Indiana Jones.
You see- you see Azalea galloping up the mountain.
Azalea's looking for the sword because she's confused now because she had horse problems.
Make a perception check.
Dun, 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 dun.
I'm rolling terribly tonight.
If
I
I'm
had
not,
like a bunch of really good rolls in a row, which is the only reason I got away with stealing that thing and having you guys not notice.
That was
Amari-
a perception of 6.
okay, so seeing as Then just screamed that Cervena has the sword, Amari wouldn't have gotten far because she like just started running, so she's gonna immediately turn back.
Yeah, could I hear that?
I will say, because you rolled exceptionally well and it was awesome, yes, you were just peeking over the ridgeline and heard it.
Okay, cool. Then can I say that my perception was specifically looking around for Cervena, even though I'm not gonna say anything because I got a 6?
Yeah, sure, but assuming by the people, they'll all go, Cervena! At least you might all these people like running uphill, and you're like, well, I suppose I start riding uphill.
That makes sense.
So you guys start running uphill, and all of a sudden just Azalea thunders between you on a horse.
No, I'm not running up the hill. I'm standing in front of the cabin with my own gun pointed at my chin.
Okay.
Wait, what did you say?
I said I'm not running up the hill or anything. I'm standing in front of the cabin, and I have my own gun pointed to my own chin, just standing there.
Can I do two things?
Yes.
Amari
This
is gonna
freaking nuts.
No, Amari's gonna notice that. Amari's gonna run at Cervena.
You
Or
can't
run
see
towards-
me, can you?
Make a perception check.
Were you stealthing?
Yes, she
Yes.
was. Make a
Oh,
perception
None
check.
of you saw me.
Yeah.
I thought you just did sleight of hand. I didn't notice it.
Oh, I did sleight of hand, and as soon as I got the sword, I went into stealth.
Well, I definitely don't see you.
She
So
is many
I-
things, but she is not stupid.
I rolled like under 10 on my
Okay, you don't see it.
Maybe. Okay, like an 11. But so in that case, Amari's going to be looking around. But seeing Fen, Stuco, she's going to send Stuco to like just tackle him.
All right.
Can I make a check to avoid that?
Yes,
Like jumping over him, basically.
Yeah, sure. Acrobatics versus acrobatics.
Can I make that? Let me check something. Because I might. I want Stuco to knock the gun, knock him, either knock him over or knock him in a way that he's gonna not be able to shoot himself in the head like an idiot.
If you knock into the gun, I am shooting myself in the head.
Like an idiot.
Alright, then I'll just do it to knock him over.
Like, I understand that the gun does not technically have a trigger mechanism, but it will
Has
happen.
Felix come out again yet?
Oh yeah, once the yelling of your brother's gonna bite it if you don't give me the sword. Felix is gonna. Is there windows to look out of?
Yes, there is.
He's gonna look through the window and try to see what's going on.
So, so you peek out the window just in time to see Azalea thunder past on a horse. You see, you see Then pointed with his gun to his own neck. You see Stuco running at Then you see Amari kind of looking very animalistically back and forth, kind of like very on the edge of her seats. You see the very confused Blood Moon bards. You see Zim has armed himself with a hammer from the outbuilding. You just like stand there like this, and Jareth is there, and
Where's Francis, by the way?
Where's Francis?
where's Francis?
Oh yeah.
I'd like to just detect magic. Do any of them look like they have something magical going on with them?
Sure, you can certainly try
Detect
it.
magic has a 30-foot range.
Yes, it does.
So
So does my sight.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
That's what I was about to say. So
Yes.
basically, as far as you can see, you're seeing magic.
The Black Moon Bards, you see that, so that, like, the two ones are further back. Francis is inside. He's gathering dry goods. Francis has been gathering these dead guys' dry goods. He's been inside with you, yeah.
Someone doing
yeah,
something
okay.
useful.
Francis, something's wrong.
Huh? I'm just gonna look up. I just look up. The first thing I see is Fed. Like, this one's going, oh hell! And just gonna run out the front door. And so the one thing I'll say is that also you notice, you also notice that we would both see this, you and I, Felix, is that like Clover's kind of like creeping a little bit closer to Then, like it's like not like
Oh, I
creeping,
noticed this.
like inching. Oh, you notice she's not trying to stealth at all.
Okay.
She's just kind of like walking very slowly towards you.
Get back! Point the gun at her.
Okay, now make the acrobatics check to avoid the cat.
Yeah, that die went back in its case. It's in jail now. I got a 6.
Okay, and what the cat roll?
7.
So, oh my. So
What is this session?
the cat leaps up, like you're distracted by Clover, who's saying, Fenrir, don't. It just seriously, the cat leaps up, knocks into you. A shot goes off. It blows off part of the roof of the little house. Just at this point, Francis is exiting the house and going, "What the hell's going on out here?"
I feel like his mother would have a quote for this story.
So Stuco's gonna like full on pounce him and just like stay standing on his chest, like growling.
As soon as the cat hits me and I go flying with the cat,
Yes.
I punch the cat in the nose.
All right, make an attack roll.
Oh my gosh.
Natural freaking 1.
Punch yourself in the
you as a matter of fact, you actually punch Francis in the face, who's running to try and break up the fight. You just look at just Francis reels back from the fight, just blood dripping from his nose. Oh my god! Oh!
By this
What the hell, guys?
growling and panting animalistically.
Okay, Stuco's gonna snarl right back, and you can see that he's
Yes.
got like acid dripping from his teeth.
Andrew,
Yes.
can I get some
Yeah,
instructions?
okay.
for this one?
Yeah,
There we go.
I'm sorry.
There they
I'm
are.
sorry. I'm really trying. Here you go.
You're good. You're good.
Is it making sense? Do you need more than that?
Is there a drop off? It's at the bottom.
Who's?
All right. Okay.
Sorry. This is the bit where me trying to split my concentration earlier is a big deal. I apologize for it. And I know that's another 50 cents into the jar.
All right. Yes. But be better.
Alright.
All right. Sure thing. All right.
As a
Need me to
note,
roll?
Yes.
DM, do I get to make another save at any point?
Not yet. All right. So the cat and you were snarling at each other.
I put the gun
Yes.
to Stuco's.
Stuco
Like-
would pin your arms down. Like
No,
Stuco's
no.
on your chest.
I point, like, even if it's just my wrist that can move, I point the gun at Stuco, and I kind of like calm for a second, and I look over at Amari with like, basically like, my sunglasses are in, so you can't see my eyes, but if you could see my eyes, it's like basically pure rage.
Amari.
I look at Amari,
Sure.
and I say, "This gun does not just fire. I can detonate it. Get the cat off me, or we both die, and I know you're partial to the cat."
Amari, make a will save.
9.
It's just a freaking cat.
Okay, I am
Okay.
arguing for advantage here because I have had this cat since I first touched magic.
Also, we're going a little bit too close to home right now today.
Yes. Also, trigger warning for Tasha, and also because she sent
On
Stuko
other
after.
days it's to be bad, but today is a little bit close to home.
Yeah, no, don't do that to Tasha.
Oh.
Also, like, okay, wait.
As a note, by the way, guys,
wait.
before any of this continues going, because this is extremely pertinent,
Sorry.
Gabrielle, as Amari, make a sense motive check. Sorry for stepping on the DM
No,
boundaries here, but
fine. Also, and also,
I will.
called Stuka.
I will allow you to roll with advantage. The dice is spoken.
Okay, I have several. It's fine.
Andrew, what do I need to roll?
That did not do anything. I whispered.
Okay.
I love my dice. I love my dice. I love my dice so much today. I'm going to buy them all.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20 on what?
Since on the will save.
Oh my god, that crazy bastard's about to blow up your favorite thing in the world.
I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you. Please put the. What are you going to kill yourself for? You're going to blow your own self up, and what is that supposed to help you with? You're not going to get the sword. You're going to kill the cat and myself and yourself. And that's really stupid. And Stuko's not going to hurt you. He's just trying to keep you safe. I promise. I swear. Do not hurt my cat.
then get the cat off me.
Promise me you're not going to do anything to yourself.
I will not harm the cat.
Promise me you're not going to do anything to yourself.
And what reason do you have to believe it is not an empty promise?
Wait, what? That I have to believe that I'm not making an empty promise or that you're not making an empty
I would not be making an empty promise.
To not hurt yourself or the cat?
In reality, either.
Okay, you kind of just derailed that entire negotiation thing. I'm going to point that out to you. I'm sorry, I'm compulsive. I have lots of problems.
At this point, can I make a check to try to get out of the cat's grapple?
Yeah, sure. With advantage.
And by the way, what check am I supposed to be making before that from what you told me?
Alright, I'm sorry. This is there are too many people messaging me.
Sorry, Andrew.
You're fine.
We're not trying to torture you.
I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna keep going with you, Samir, just so we can give Andrew the time break. I mean, I can't guarantee it, but something tells me that obviously you really want the sword, and I don't think you want to be dead if you want to have the sword, because that would completely defeat the purpose of having it or getting it. I promise I will let the cat off of you, but please don't do anything. Promise.
Get the cat off, and we will speak.
Stuko, come here. It's okay. Stuko's gonna back off and come running back to me, and I'm gonna hug him really tight. Listen. Okay, I promise I was not trying to hurt you. There's no point in you hurting yourself. We can talk about this. We can talk about the sword. I really want it. I don't know why you really want it. We can fight over it or something. Just don't do anything stupid. Because I really want it. Why do you want it?
DM, can I make a will save yet?
Now you're allowed to, because like now you notice that sort of like whether or not you like it, even though he's bleeding from the nose, Francis is getting closer, and Clover, they're both getting closer to you. Like they're still both coming closer, and they're both like you.
So I can make another will save?
You certainly can, yeah.
Yes! 19!
19. You feel What the hell was that?
Speaking of which, did I get out from under it, or was it just...
You're out from under it. The cat was enough to snap you back.
Am I aware that something was...
Oh yes! Oh yes! You are very aware.
Fenmir? Same here.
Has Azalea snapped out yet, too?
Azalea,
Come on, Bruce. That thing's messing with your mind. You're better than this.
Azalea,
Bruce Banner.
make a will save.
Okay.
Andrew, do I need to re-roll or am I okay?
You're okay.
Same here.
Have I made it to where I'm going then?
Yeah.
All right. Let me wait
Come
for
12.
Azalea to get her thing.
12. Azalea, it's evil. It's evil. You need to get to it before they get to it. You need to get it away from him as soon as you can. They'll only use it for bad things. You've got to get there. You've got to get there. But where is everybody? There's nobody up this way. You bring the horse to a stop and you look back down. Look, they're all gathered there. They're making a plan without you, Azalea. They're going to use it for evil, and only you can stop them. Get there! Stop them!
You can prevent forest fires, Azalea! Okay.
Only you can prevent party fights.
Forest fires!
I hope Silver.
you guys look up,
Yes.
and
Away!
you guys look up on the mountain, and up there's a horse doing this up on the side of the mountain with a tiny figure in the saddle.
Stop, guys! Stop! Don't do it! You shouldn't do it! Please don't stop what you're doing! Just don't do it!
Don't stop what you're doing.
I'm not doing anything.
Don't.
What are you talking about?
Period. Stop what you're doing. Period.
DM, can I at this point react to what
Okay.
Amari is saying?
Yes, you can.
Well, basically, as soon as I get snapped out of it and I get that, notification.
Thinbeer's okay. Thinbeer's okay now.
As soon as I get that notion, that's what I was trying to say, that like I've been controlled this entire time, just kind of immediate shock. I pull the mask and like the sunglasses and attached mask off my face, drop the gun and the mask, and fall to my knees, and just kind of go, I can't believe it. I never.
I'm gonna like.
At this point, Ven steps out of the house and goes, "What the hell is going on?"
Really thundering towards you, and it's like,
That
Why is that thinking he's gonna blow his head off?
Sir Venom, you have the sword?
No, I don't have
You have to give it to me right now. What do you mean you don't have the sword? You have the sword. You have to give it to me right now.
I don't have it.
I'm gonna.
You can't do the things with it that you're going to do. I know you're going to do the wrong things with it, and you have to give it to me right now because you just can't do those things. They're not okay. Do you understand?
Azalea, get it through your brain. I don't have the damn sword.
Well, then where is the sword?
I don't know. I just
Guys,
got
can
the
a
sword.
persuasion check be made from this to cut this short?
Yes.
You don't need a cat fight here.
Yes, Azalea, make
Well,
a
Stuco against me was kind of a cat fight.
Azalea, make a persuasion check with advantage. Then make a bluff check with advantage.
Can I also roll a sense motor check?
Yeah, sure.
Natural 20.
Oh, screw it. That was not good enough.
15.
Ven don't have that sword. Ven never had that sword. Ven doesn't even know what a sword is.
I'm gonna
Where's the
run
sword?
over this.
Do you all have the sword?
Guys, I'm
have
going
to
to
have it.
make a fancy dinner for my dice.
I know.
I haven't rolled anything under a 17 in the last half hour.
Okay, you look.
I'm gonna
sufficiently
look
freaked out
back
now.
at Sen.
What?
Goodbye.
Why are you leaving?
I'm gonna look back at Sen and go, then you still must have it. This was all just a joke. You made it look like she took it, but she didn't. You have it. You have to give me the sword. You have to give it to me right now. Please, please, have it to me because
I turn and I look at Azalea with like the utmost sadness in my eyes. Just kind of look at her and I say, I don't have it. And I am glad that I do not.
Wonderfully.
Azalea,
yeah.
as a friend, you know, My mother used to say that
Oh, this is Francis. Okay.
when you're making a dinner and you can't find sage,
Well, what does dinner have to do with this? You guys are gonna do the wrong things with it, and it's gonna be really bad.
rosemary will do. Now, rosemary is not evil, and
Francis,
it goes on potatoes.
What? Francis,
no,
you're not
right
making
now.
any sense. You're gonna do the wrong things with it because you don't have rosemary and you want rosemary. You're gonna use the sword to get your rosemary from people and you're gonna kill them with it and it's gonna be terrible.
I'm just gonna.
Please, so that you don't murder people. I don't want you to be a murderer, Francis.
I'm very excited that there was a Francis Mom quote.
Azalea, may I offer you a hug?
But you're gonna be a murderer.
I'm just gonna come over and hug her. Make a will save with advantage.
9. First roll was a 9. We'll see how this goes. Please roll better than that. I believe in you. 18.
18. Azalea, all of a sudden you realize you are being like picked up and squeezed by Francis, and everything is kind of muffled and warm and okay.
Oh.
Oh.
Every time I have a
Just better?
Francis has mastery hugs.
Thanks. I
He's,
think.
Wait.
Don't hug me.
he's gonna sit you
Azalea
down.
has the magic talk about politics. Francis has the magic hug.
Azalea will accept said hug. So you're not gonna murder anybody because you didn't get your rosemary?
No,
What?
no, there's no murder, there's no Rosemary's, those guys are murdered. What are you talking, what is, Francis is like,
I thought that you guys would use the sword for evil things.
I think
And I
something has
didn't
been
want you guys to
malfunctioning.
hurt anybody because
Oh.
that would ultimately just hurt you.
Okay.
Okay, something has clearly been mind controlling all of us. Then, where is the sword?
I'm sorry, Ven said she didn't have it.
Yeah, no.
Yes, but you had it last.
No,
No
Ven
one
said she
knows
never
that.
had it.
I had it last.
Then why were you screaming that Savannah had it?
Because I know my sister is sneaky. She disappeared the same time the sword disappeared from me. I made an assumption that was clearly wrong.
You guys
what
went
did you do
nuts. I hid.
So what did you do with it? Then
If it's gone, maybe it's better it just stays gone.
it probably is, but also, what was that?
Thank you.
The best
What I have-
explanation is that it disapparated,
Senmia.
and we should not worry about it
No.
any further.
Senmia.
Would I have
Senmia, they killed themselves. They killed each other. Possibly. Okay, that doesn't actually account for 3 bodies. I don't know. But
Would
the
I have
body,
heard
something
any-
controlled us. I think they killed each other with the sword.
Felix is gonna say they did kill each other. The man in the room killed himself with the sword.
How do you know?
The stab was from underneath. He fell on his own sword.
No
He killed the other and then fell on his sword.
What about
Felix
the
is
third one?
right.
Now I'm getting good rolls.
Felix is right.
He sacrificed one, killed the other with the stabs, and then killed himself.
Sacrifice them to what?
I don't know.
Okay,
I think we should leave this place.
I think we should too. I'm really
Andrew.
sorry.
Yeah.
Did my Arcana check in the room with the tingling?
Oh gosh, what was your Arcana again?
18.
15?
18.
18. You could tell that it was strongest on the dead guy. There was an aura left
Which
on the
one?
dead guy. The guy in the bedroom.
They're all dead.
The guy who killed himself.
Yes,
One of
the guy who
okay.
killed himself.
Well then. let me be the first to say that I'm really sorry. I guess I probably would have ended up killing all of you. That's not comforting. I'm really sorry.
No, really. Of course, I forgive you. I'm sorry too. I don't like that I went crazy like that.
Neither do I.
I also don't like that we weren't able to figure it out until we had already started to lose our minds.
If we are making admissions and confessions, Amari, don't ever believe that I can detonate the gun again.
Appreciate it. And I really promise that I promise I was telling the truth. I really Stuko jumped on you just to stop you from doing anything insane.
Well, I'm alive, aren't I?
It's because you're smart and you listened, sort of. But you also have good self-preservation instincts. Plus, I don't think the sword would have let you.
Oh, Azalea, Azalea, Azalea.
Oh no.
Yes,
You're smart. You're very
I know.
smart.
Oh god.
You do remember something like this happening before.
Oh,
Azalea,
Brilliant. What do I remember?
you very well remember. Back when Varian was Lord of Taikangaard. Back in the good old days. Back in the days when there was no pharaoh to sit on the throne of Jalbar. There was a man from the North Country across the sea named Lord Strayer. And Lord Strayer went on an expedition. Lord Strayer had heard about... He had heard about untold riches in the desert. He read the same journal of that expedition that you read. He wanted to go find it, but he thought they were wrong. He knew that people had gone to that location and not found anything since. So, he decided to go look at a new place. He took with him a sword. This sword had been made for him by the blacksmith. Now, it would come out years later in an inquiry by a priest that that blacksmith was in fact his wife's lover. Now, this blacksmith had made this sword specifically to be enchanted by a mage. He paid his entire life savings as the royal blacksmith to this wizard to enchant a blade to be filled with a fell spirit. And that fell spirit allegedly drove Lord Strayer mad, to the point that he slaughtered his entire expedition. They were found, years later, by some traders. The journal was taken, the sword was taken, and at that point the sword disappeared, and the journal was burnt as the ravings of a madman. You remember this story very well, because it was included as a postscript to that book about the expedition that you read so many times. This one always stuck with you.
What?
For the record, Azalea rolled extremely well.
Do nat 20.
Pretty dang
I
close.
had a natural 19 and a +8 to knowledge history.
Good lord.
how do you have a +8? Jesus.
Do you have like a +4 to intelligence or something?
I think so. I have a lot initially to intelligence.
That sounds nice.
Curiosity, what is your intelligence?
Hold on, let me look.
Anyway, continuing on.
So, the sword at that point disappeared from history.
I have a +3 to intelligence, not a +4. But
16 or 17?
It was said that...
16, I think? Yeah, 16.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
So, in your last memory, you do know that it brings misfortune on whoever owns it. It was believed to have been destroyed.
Okay. Azalea's gonna share that with the group. She's gonna be like, hey, guys, I think I know where that sword comes from. And then she will retell the story in, like, as much of, like, campfire story style as she can. Because that's a more fun way to tell a story.
at the end, Francis is going to ask you, Lord Strayer of Strayer's Point?
Would I know that to be accurate?
Yes, you would.
Sorry,
Yes.
where is Strayer's Point?
Strayer's Point is a city in Mariel.
Yeah, that's one and the same. Why do you
That's
ask?
where you're from?
It's near where I'm from. My family and the Strayers don't exactly get along.
Oh,
And you notice that at the mention of Lord Strayer, Clover seems pretty grave. She immediately knows who we're talking about.
Clover, do you possibly know something more?
No, I just know that I know the Strayer family is not a noble lineage.
Hmm,
I'll leave it at that.
understood. And that sword doesn't help anything. If it's anywhere around here, we should destroy it.
I'm not sure we can.
I don't know if we can either, but
I doubt we could, and at any rate, does anybody know where the damn thing is?
Can I make a check
No.
to see if I would know how to destroy it?
Sure, there'd be a Arcana weaponry would be harder.
You'd have to dispel the magic on it. Might be horrifying.
I'm gonna make an Arcana check and probably not have much luck.
Sure.
17.
17. Well, usually, magical weapons can't really be broken under normal circumstances. You can go through rituals to destroy them. You can destroy them at certain special places. You could always de-enchant them and destroy them whilst they're de-enchanted, but anything that's been enchanted will have a natural tendency to want to become enchanted again.
Would I know if magical energy can destroy it? Like pure, raw, magical energy?
Theoretically. It would take a hell of a lot of energy. It'd have to be a magic greater and beyond the magic that it is opposing.
So nothing that I have.
More than likely not.
If
I think going and looking for it is probably not a good idea.
I don't want to look for it, but I also don't want to just leave it somewhere around here because then someone's going to find it and it's going to cause even more misfortune than it already has.
That sword needs to be damned to the depths of hell.
I agree with you on that one.
If we find it, we can bury it and hope no one finds it for a millennium.
But if we find it, then we run the risk of,
All
well,
of this
that
happening.
again.
Or, if we find it, no one touches it. We take precautions and we transport it to someone who can destroy it.
Do I know if it works only when you touch it or like when you're in the vicinity?
Or would I?
Given our experience, only the people that held it had it affect them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes,
people.
but I'm wondering if you're in its like presence for longer, if it would start affecting you anyway.
Azalea, based on what you experienced, the feeling was still there after you stopped holding it.
Okay.
Okay, but
That's what all
would
of
we
you felt.
know? Would we know if, as long as we don't touch it to begin with, it's not a problem?
You're not sure. I mean, the feeling only happened when you touched it. I mean, if that's what you're asking.
I'm not sure about that. I don't know if it would. It might still have the same effect.
It's also
What-
theoretically possible that even if you pick it up with something else, that it'll
Yeah.
still transfer.
I don't want to leave it out for others to find, but
We
I
don't
really
know
don't
where
want
it
to mess
is.
with it.
It vanished.
That's
I'm
good.
going to.
Conversation.
At this
Was
point,
it-
I'm going to get up from where I've been like sitting on the ground. I'm gonna walk over to where I was when I noticed that the sword had disappeared, and I'm going to start like scanning the ground, kind of like a fire line. Where you just kind of like walk back and forth very, very slowly and just scan the ground, looking for any traces.
Make a perception or survival.
The ground where Azalea
One and the same.
fabulously on her horse.
10.
Azalea, on the
10.
bright side, did learn how to ride a horse today, so
10. You look down and there's just hoof prints everywhere. There's your own feet. There's some cat feet. There's a strange cat butt impression that you felt like apparently Stuco was changing directions a little too fiercely.
Where is
But
the
you
butt?
don't see
Where
a
is the
sword.
cat butt?
The cat butt's somewhere in the apartment.
There was an early session cat butt.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll walk back over. I'll pick up Black Rose and put it and holster it. I will put I will put the mask back on tightly and pull the full face cover up and close the hood and start walking to the city.
You alright?
I choked on my water.
Oh dear.
Felix is going to ask the bards and whoever else to help him dig graves for the people.
Francis will help.
I can help.
The bards.
Then
will
if they want to tell my brother we're staying to dig graves.
All right.
Amari will go and shout at Sun that we're staying to degrees. And then she'll help Felix and Francis.
The bards are having sort of like a conversation off to themselves. And Jareth says, "Just a minute. We have matters that we need to discuss between just the three of us."
Check. Never mind. Should have gone with the test roll. Okay. We could use some manpower over here when you're done.
Lady, we'll be there in a second. The goblin yells over.
Are you guys okay? Like, I'm sorry about everything and that you kind of got dragged into it. Okay.
All right, so eventually they're going to break, and Jareth is going to lead the two of them over, and he's going to go, "Well, here's where things stand as is.
Why does he talk so weird?
Because he must."
You made the sword. Bum, bum, bum. Sorry.
You see,
He's Lord Strayer reincarnated.
it has come to my attention
Shatner
with
protection.
weighty words. Look, Zim's just like gonna push out from behind his leg. "Look, lady, you freaked us out. We don't know you very well. You seem alright. Look, me and the big guy, we're rolling on to the next town. If we meet again, we meet again. You seem like neat folks. I like you, but I'm scared to death of yous. Alright, the girl's staying with you. I don't know, she's insane. She's an adult. I'm not her dad. I can't tell her what to do. Alright? You guys, you're on your own. Clover, you made your own choice. Next time we'll meet again. It's not that big of a country, except it's a huge country. But it's only like
Okay,
a ninth of it where everybody lives.
It's only like 30 square Gabrielle miles.
Which is the size of a small summer cottage with an outhouse and a couple gazebos.
Gabrielle, you are never living that down.
It's literally only your fault. Like,
Yeah.
I know, and I am proud.
But listen,
You
Moving
done us
on.
all a great service, and we thank you for it.
Listen. Actually, Zim's gonna pull you aside. Ven.
Yeah.
I almost called you Sin, and I don't know why. She's pointing like, look. The kid wants to stay. She wants to have an adventure bigger than the two of us. She's banging on drums and stuff. Alright, listen. You keep an eye out for her, you hear me? I saw what
I'm from New York.
I saw what you did back there.
Now.
I did. Not as dumb as I look.
No, but clearly you're a little more perceptive than in my group. Keep it down, would you?
Sure thing. Listen to me. You take care of that girl.
I'll keep an eye on her.
Don't you let her get under. Don't you let you get in over her head. You got that?
I'll do my best.
We'll be back. We won't be far. You can get in contact with us. Look, look. I don't mean this in a bad way. Every bar up and down the freaking canal knows us. All right, so we'll be around. Just if you need anything, just tell somebody at some place. They'll get it to us eventually.
I'll keep word to you as best I can. I'll keep an eye on you for you.
Oh my gosh, dude, if you twitch your head again like that one more time, I'm gonna break it.
So just as you're going back, you see Jareth will walk up and he'll take you by the, and he's going, "Madam, a word." He's just gonna like, take you back. He's gonna go.
Which one? Which madam?
Jareth, he's taking you again. Then he's like,
I'm always gonna like try and listen now.
"Madam, it is of the utmost importance that you personally see to the health and well-being of our dear friend, Clover. Do you understand what I am saying to you, madam? You seem trustworthy in the utmost."
Amar's gonna walk up to him. You know what would be a good other name for you? Shatner. I've never heard of this name before, but I think that it would suit you well. You should change your name to it. Goodbye.
Andrew's just having this conversation because he wanted one less excuse to talk in that voice.
I think it would be a good stage name. Yes, Jareth Shatner and the fabulous Zim. He turns around and points at Zim. You are now the fabulous Zim, and I am the great performer, Jareth Shatner.
You're actually crazy.
He turned. Thank you.
You walk away.
You
I'll do
as
my
well.
best to keep her safe.
All right.
She's an adult, and she does get to make her own decisions.
My blessing goes with you. And he will turn and start walking off.
Can he walk the way that he talks?
Yeah.
What with that little swagger where the butt moves back and forth a little bit?
Like he pauses every other step.
It's like that. What was that movie where there was a guy trying to teach a girl how to walk proper, and he does that boom pop, boom pop pop, boom pop, where he's just like swaying his hips back and forth and like snapping his hips out every
What
once
do
in a
you
while.
want?
I don't. It's not. It wasn't me. It was my family. And I don't
It
remember
wasn't
what
me.
it was.
It was
It
my.
wasn't now.
It's also
It was.
in-
I think it was Monty Python or something, and it was like the Ministry of Silly Walks or something. Yeah, and he was like he was.
There's no teaching scene in the Ministry.
There's no
of Silly Walks.
teaching. Okay, it was
No.
it was
I know
some
that
dude
skit
that
pretty
was
well.
showing off. It was showing off his walk, and he said, "You know, you got to do it like this: boom, pop, boom, pop, pop."
There's
Mis-
also a
is it
movie Saturday Night Live.
miscongeniality?
I have no idea. I've never seen that, so I
There's
wouldn't know.
Okay.
There's also
Yeah,
like
you might be right, actually, Andrew.
Yeah.
My sister has forced me to see that.
there's also like a Saturday Night Live video where it's like this trooper arrests a guy for like pulls over a guy for like drunk driving, and they use that. So I don't know if that's related.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just excited because Andrew's managed to work another female like an NPC into it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's Andrew's new Kazaroff. Kaz reborn.
Oh no. Oh no.
Why do you think Tasha keeps saying smitten?
No, I mean I know why she's saying it, but that wasn't I just wasn't on purpose.
Okay, that being said, she's clearly smitten with Zen, and I'm going to milk this for all it's worth.
Okay, also like
Tin buckets.
Stop moving on to the city, guys! I don't want to get trapped by anybody else! Quickly!
Alright, so you guys dig graves.
We did graves, we buried them.
Does anybody want to say...
on.
Francis is going to say, does anybody want to say a few words?
I don't know. What do you say at people's graves? We don't really have a lot of deaths in open culture that much. I'm all live a long time, so.
Do we even... I mean, presumably they're, worshippers of Aman Sul?
Presumably.
Have a great afterlife, guys!
We didn't
Oh,
know them. We
yes,
don't
no.
have words to say.
When
We
you
will
go
tell the
into
priests
the
when we get into town. They can do what they do.
when you go into the afterlife bodies of people who have died, I hope that in the hunting fields that are there in the after, it's part of our culture. We have hunting fields. I hope that you find many strong bison that you are able to kill, and that it feeds your
Wait,
afterlife.
bison in the
calories.
jungle?
Listen,
Amen.
part of the-
There's jungle bison now, guys!
What?
I
Jungle
don't know. I've never
It's not
been
too
there.
far-fetched.
Jungle bison confirmed.
Sorry, not bison. I meant
And that's
buffalo.
going on the quotes list.
No, jungle bison are confirmed.
I mean, bison live in forests.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
But I hope that
Yeah,
there are
but
many
no.
buffalo for you to kill, and that the tiger walks alongside you everywhere that you go, and doesn't take too many craps on the floor like Stuko does. Stuko makes a lot of crap.
Amen. Francis is gonna do this with his hands and walk away.
Alright, so, to the city, finally, at long last, because it's taking us forever.
Oh my god. So,
When do we do anything fast?
as the sun is setting,
I'd like to ride a horse to the city.
sure
Yeah, we might
thing.
want to take the horses with us so that they don't starve to death out here.
Sure.
And bring those rations while you're at it.
I'm gonna take my horse to Telmano Road. I'm gonna ride.
Please stop.
Alright, so,
That's not okay.
I've got
We're
a
just
curse
riding-
sword in the back. Curse sword in the
Oh my
back.
word.
alright, so, after Amari is accidentally murdered maliciously,
Stop. What are you doing?
Is Harley around? I have some things I'd like to ask Azalea, but
She wandered off. I think she looked at the screen about 3 minutes ago and walked off.
Oh, so you guys eventually start sauntering into the early falling sunset.
DM, did you see my message?
I did. It is noted. Alright, so you guys start sauntering into the early sunset. You guys are still about like a 3-hour walk away. So eventually, about a while there, about like as you guys like start as the path is starting to reach like where things are more level and running out into the plain, you guys find Thenmir sitting on a rock.
No, sitting on the ground next to a rock.
Sitting on the ground next to a rock.
Sammy, are you alright?
No response. I'm staring at a Menadil and just muttering.
What?
A Menadil?
The skull.
Oh, you
Yes.
need the skull.
Yes.
Yeah. The skull is sitting on the rock.
Yeah.
The skull is sitting on the rock, and I'm just staring at him, muttering.
Hashtag full Uric.
Stuko is going to
To
go
be.
cat.
Or not to be.
Stuko's gonna go full cat and just bat the skull off the rock.
Bonk.
I bat Stuko's paw and grab the skull, put it back on the rock, and keep muttering.
Oh, he's going insane
Felix is just gonna turn to the other and say, "Are we sure the necromantic thing is done with him?"
No.
Honestly, who can tell?
Clover will lean over to Bench and go, does he do this often?
I don't know. I haven't seen them much in the last 40 years.
Okay.
Does he do this often? Asking for a friend.
I don't know, Clover. Maybe if you go up to him and give him a poke, he'll snap out of it.
Yeah, you should do that.
She's gonna go, well, family first.
No, very much
Ari's
not
gonna-
family first.
Ari's gonna like kind of push her.
And
No!
before
Family
they
is not
even
the good
finish,
scenario right
before they
now.
even finish any of this, I pick up the skull, hang it from the rock, hang it from the rope that it was hanging from my, it hangs from my belt by, and I start walking to the city and just kind of like turn over my shoulder and say, "Coming," and keep walking.
Stuko is sitting in your lap and is now annoyed with you for dumping him on the ground.
Stuko's like,
Stuko likes to think that Stuko is a cat. Stuko is honestly like a small tiger, but
Stuko-
refuses to accept it.
Stuko wants people food.
What?
Oh no! I wasn't paying attention to chat. The next thing I just saw was hot and wet from Harley.
And with that, we should.
You muted her.
Oh, my students made our bathroom into a sauna. Intentionally.
Oh,
That's
Makes sense.
They put trash bags around all of the holes in the doors and various other items, and like turned all of the showers on extremely hot and made it into a sauna.
Wait. A college dorm where the hot water lasts for more than 3 minutes?
Unheard of.
What is
Yeah,
this?
it does that
Lies.
here, apparently.
Does that at Cairn?
It's just because it's so hot here, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I like had to take my socks off to go in the bathroom, and I went to grab toilet paper, and it disintegrated in my hand.
Uh.
that's disgusting. Yay, one
That was
pie.
not the experience I expected.
Moving along.
Yay, one pie.
Yeah.
all right. So,
walking to this godforsaken city that it's taking us 4 seconds to get to.
you had adventures.
Sorry.
Be content with your adventures.
It's taking It's taking a freaking month to get to this city.
All right.
Game.
All right. So, as
It's
you
taking like 3 days in game from when it was supposed to be there. Like we were supposed to be there 3 days ago in game.
So, you poor sorry suckers, as you guys are walking, eventually you start to go under these trellises with vines, and you're walking alongside, and the deep canal is burbling along next to you, and now you're starting to meet.
Your gut is burbling.
I can't get no respect around here. All right.
Can't get no RESPEC.
Ethan's song mashup on Spotify.
While we're walking, I did want to talk to Azalea.
Sure.
Azalea, do you know? You seem to have an incredible vast knowledge of things. Do you know of any deer-headed fawns or satyrs in any mythologies?
Let me think about it for a second. Can I make a roll for that?
You don't have to make a roll for it. I mean, you would know very well in your own mythology. Fawns and satyrs are things that exist. These are the stories that you were raised on. I mean, yeah, fawns and satyrs exist.
Sorry.
But
Would I know-
specifically ones with the head of a deer
Yeah.
instead of a human.
Would I know of anything about that?
That you're going to need to make. Which check would you like to make?
Where, like, in what sort of mythology were you hearing about this?
Related to the afterlife? Or returning from the afterlife? Or
But the afterlife, like, beliefs of whom?
I don't know. I'm trying to place it.
Okay.
For this, you're going to need to probably make it based on that knowledge religion.
Okay. Please roll well. 9.
9?
What about a also related to death, a hallway with a hand that beckons you out of it. And
Let me just think for a second. 23.
23. I mean, you've heard of beckoning hands and near death and death experiences. I mean, you've heard people describing going towards light or going towards a hand or going towards a familiar place. Those aren't all that uncommon. It's a pretty universal thing from your understanding.
Would I know of any, like, cultures that hallway would be particular to?
Not off the top of your head, no.
Would I be able to think of any that it isn't, like, that don't have any ideas of, like, a beckoning hand or something?
I mean, what'd you roll?
23.
You would know that traditionally, the people of Morrow, they just generally don't have an idea of the afterlife. They believe in reincarnation, so they'd have no reason for that sort of thing. But other than that,
cool.
I mean,
well, I'll explain that much, and then I'm gonna ask out of curiosity, like, why do you want to know? Just curious. I mean, it's not a normal thing to ask about.
I learned of it and was confused, so I was trying to figure out.
Oh, that totally makes sense. Yeah, I wish I knew more. I mean, I know some things just from what I've read, but I guess that's not something I've remembered particularly well. But it is pretty common to have those sorts of beliefs, except in the Moro people.
Okay.
Is there anything else you were curious about?
No, that was what I was wondering.
I might be able to reference you to a book that might have more about it.
Yeah, if you would, when we get to town, to help me go to one of the, maybe if there's a library, to try and research it. I don't know the library as well.
Certainly, I'd love to help you. Helping in libraries is one of my favorite things.
Helping in libraries.
All right, that was all. I just wanted to see if Azalea could help him at all with that.
yeah. So,
Not really.
as you guys are going, eventually you guys start to encounter soldiers. You guys start to encounter, they're just like normal town guardsmen. You can tell that they are the usual town guardsmen, very lightly armored. Very lightly armored. Both the men and women sort of wear knee-length skirts or kilts. They wear a head covering, usually like a band around them that comes down to about here. Usually white. Except you notice that there are some that appear to have some different colors, like some that appear to have red heads, like red head coverings. So the men are shirtless. The women are sort of draped in. It looks almost like a toga, but it has to be held up somehow that isn't by, all the crazy stuff you have to do with your arms to wear a toga all the time. Like, it looks kind of similar to that. It's more of a drapery than a shirt.
Like Felix wears.
Yeah. And they're all matching. They're all just wearing white. Every once in a while, they seem every once in a while, they seem to take special note of you guys. Like, especially when one of the ones with the red head covering walks past. Just seems to.
Having lived in the desert, do I know what the red head coverings mean?
Yeah, sure. You would definitely know this. This denotes a officer.
Okay.
So denote an officer in usual town guard.
How far from us are they?
How far from this? Well, I mean, they're just coming and going on the path. Like, this is their normal patrol.
Oh, okay.
Just
Can I
normal
like
patrols.
just say hello generally as like good afternoon, sir, as we walk by?
Afternoon.
What time of day is it?
It's like about 9 o'clock at night by the time you're reaching the city.
I'm gonna say evening. I wasn't thinking.
There you go. Evening. You see, this guy, the guy in the red head covering, he's like, alright, hold on a minute here. Alright. Madam, he's gonna jog a second to catch up with you guys. He's gonna give Jareth a look, and he's.
Oh, Jareth is still with us?
I mean, the path goes only one direction, so the bards are at least they at least have to go with you as far as the city.
Got it.
He's kind of he looks to Felix, and then to Azalea, then to Felix, and to Azalea, and back at Jareth, then at Azalea, and goes, so where are you guys coming from?
He does not look at the drow.
No. He does not seem weirded out by you two at all.
Score!
Nice. Yeah, seriously.
Does Azalea get the feeling that he thinks she's a child?
Make a sense motive check.
$10.
Maybe. Could be.
Also, does she remember anything about like this particular culture as far as like social habits and what it is polite and not polite to do for different members of society regarding officers and that sort of thing? Because she didn't think of it at first, but now she realizes that she could have potentially overstepped some sort of boundary.
Is knowledge local? Is that one of your skills?
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
22.
Dang, alright. So,
You're on point with these knowledge
I
checks
know,
today,
right?
RBG.
It's the only thing Azalea's good at.
So, Azalea, you would know that. Generally, no. You haven't been, that you haven't done anything that would be outright rude in this culture. Generally, generally, you would know that being a hobbit in this culture is not necessarily even a bad thing. You would know that usually being a lichen or an elf is not a very good thing in this culture, especially gnolls. But you don't have any gnolls with you. So you know that those are generally bad things, but I mean, you guys are looking like humans. The guard doesn't seem very even preoccupied with the two elves. I mean, he gave you a quick once-over.
But you just said that elves are a bad thing in the culture?
At least to Azalea's knowledge, that elves aren't usually the most welcome. I mean, it's
Okay.
not like they. But
Maybe not as much of a score as we thought, Tasha.
But he
Felix-
is much more interested in Felix and Azalea.
Felix is gonna speak up and say, we are coming from out of town, to the city, but we need to speak to you, regarding something we discovered up the road.
Yes.
There was 3 dead bodies in a building, up there. So we wanted to report those things.
What? Wait. All right. Okay. All right. Okay.
Say something.
This guy looks tired. He looks like he's like right near the end of his shift, and he's like,
There were 3 people killed with swords up by the building near the canal, up the road there.
Yes, I think it has to do with the old story about the sword of Lord Strayer.
No.
what the hell are you two talking? Okay, there are children dressed in clothes from Stereos, with a bunch of vagrants.
Okay, pardon me, sir. Sir, I'm not a child. I'm a halfling.
Sorry?
And
Culturally
that's because
insensitive birth.
also Azalea still has on her like colorful skirt because she liked that.
Oh, okay, so you're just like a Knoll, you're just like a Knoll, essentially.
She kept whatever was colorful.
Alright, so I have a halfling, just like a little boy wearing a messed up toque. Alright, can you please come with me to the guard station so we can sit down and just work this out?
Yes, sure. I'm sorry if we've caused you any hassle and confused you at all.
It's
my really job. Kind of a long story.
It is alright.
I want to, as we're walking towards the guard station, I want to kind of like put my hand on Azalea's shoulder and lean down and say, "Don't mention the sword again. It would be unwise." Just kind of whisper in her ear.
But she'll like step back to talk to him. Don't you think we should report it to the authorities?
I think we should report it to the authorities as if they were merely killed. I don't think we should make mention of a sword.
Do you think that if we do that, they'll go after it?
Either they will go after it, or they will believe us to be insane and we will be imprisoned for a murder that they assume we did.
Oh. I didn't even think of that.
Keep on your toes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to step off to the side and make it look like we were never even talking.
Alright. The guard is like the guard officer's like, alright, for the record, I am Sergeant Shabazz. Please don't do anything stupid. I just want to get home, okay? So if we can just come back and just sort this all out.
For clarification, they seem to be giving them funny looks because they were in Stereosian clothing?
Yes. Alright, so he's gonna like lead you like the last little bit to the city, and as you guys are leading up, to your surprise, the gates of the city are wide open. There's like a deep trench. You see the city is it's built out of what appears to be a sandstone exterior. It is made with Harley, help me. The thing that gives the optical illusion of getting farther apart as it goes up. I know you know the answer.
I know what you're talking about.
Ashlar block. Ashlar block. That's what it is. So it is made to look very imposing.
That in a while.
Yes, there is a deep pit filled with like various kinds of spikes, just around the city, which is very in contrast to this very idyllic like vine trellis walk you've been taking. And eventually the guards eventually he goes like as he's crossing, and so some of the other guards kind of fill in around you guys as he crosses into the city. There's torches all lit along this way, all along the drawbridge from the city, all across up in, and as soon as you guys get through the gate, you see there is just a flood of people moving from like one end of the square to the other. This city is built out on a plain. It is it's very flat. There's not a whole lot of change in elevation to this city. At first you think it's kind of small, like when you're looking at it from a distance, you're like, oh, it's just, it's tall, but it's not very big. And just sort of like when you open it, when the doors are open to you and you just look in, this city is big. It's a very, very congested city. There are tight stairways running up to the walls. There are houses built into the walls. There are houses built into other houses. There are bigger houses with minarets coming off the top, and there are narrow alleyways, and there are stores attached to houses, and overhead apartments and inns coming out of the sides of stables and stables coming out of houses, and everything is so interconnected here. It's a very, very intricate city. It's almost like they built the walls first, and then the city was built afterwards. And once they kind of ran out of room with the walls, they just started to build everything together. There
So
are
it looks like
Man, I would hate to see a fire go off here.
a set scene for a rooftop chase.
It looks like what the Sight and Sound Theater in Lancaster thinks Bethlehem looks like. Except with more drunk people. But you just see there's like this flock of people, and they're just all moving to one side in torchlight. They're all carrying torches, and then there's the smell of incense from braziers and flickering lanterns being carried, and they're all flocking in one direction towards what, as far as you can see, is the tallest structure. There is there are three sort of minarets with flags on top, and the flags are blowing. The flags are blowing with the same mountain breeze that was blowing the door in and out. But these flags are blowing. They're blowing gold.
Would I know what this building is? Having lived in Jalbar.
Sure. All right. Let's go with a knowledge history or knowledge local knowledge religion. Anything along those lines.
15.
15. Well, you do know that this city holds religious significance. You can't remember why, but it does.
Okay. Sorry.
So-
my cat Billy.
As you guys are walking along, the guard goes, "Oh, it's Thursday." Fantastic. So it said he's going to lead you guys off to the opposite direction the people are going. The people are flocking towards the river, or towards the canal, rather, which would be to the south. He leads you guys north. He's going to lead you guys north. Eventually, after sneaking through back alleys, he's moving. The smell of goats is overwhelming.
Goats that eat your balls?
No. Goats, just normal goats. Goats and hay and wet things and sweet smoke and the smell of spicy meat being turned on spits. You guys eventually reach a long, low building that is almost dug in a little bit. It's like something that you'd have to go down to get into. It's like at least 3 steps down. On top of it is like a tavern. It's like a tavern, but they like lead you like around to the side and under down into a big open room with lots of tables and shackles attached to the tables, and there's like a lot of guards just like milling around. And there's a very tubby guy in a red and gold hemmed headdress sitting behind a table. And he's just like, "Ugh, Shabazz, who are these?" And he goes, the guard who brought you, he goes, "Well, these are some people I met on the road, and they were trying to report a murder, and there's a child, and he looks like he dresses as if he's from Stereos, and there are all these people, and just, Azalea, you would know that they are currently at war with Stereos." Yes.
Forgetting.
So, I mean, albeit this is the absolute last place they'd expect to see somebody from Stereos, because it's so far from the border. But, immediately the head guard is like, "You have done very well. quickly. All right, now I want you all. It's like he's like guards, and he's gonna get all your attention. They got him. All right, listen to me, you all. I don't want any trouble. You are not being arrested. You are merely being detained until
Wait, exactly why are you detaining us all?
Did we do
For
something
what
wrong?
crime?
you are being detained under martial law statute 13.
What did we do?
You are fraternizing possibly with an enemy agent. He points at Felix.
For crying out loud.
Okay,
All right.
the little kid. Are you serious? How dumb are you?
From the
I'm gonna
mouths
step
of
forward
babes,
at this
madam.
point.
Wait,
I'm
excuse
just forward at this point
Yes.
and say,
Also, this
might
accent.
I step in and state that these were merely supplies we found. They are not representative of our political motive.
Felix is going to accidentally stumble into something and look around himself very blindly.
As you can see,
tell,
the
he's
child
blind.
doesn't even know what he's wearing.
That may be, but
Yeah, because the best spies are blind kids.
madam, I have seen very many spies in my time. For those of you with the sense motive check, he is bluffing about that.
Zuko's gonna step in front of Felix and like just start like licking his
Acts like a
teeth very
seeing eye animal.
casually.
Madam,
No, he's going to start like like yawning and showing his teeth. And
the guy's just gonna sneeze. Oh, look at you.
We don't.
Listen.
We don't mean to cause any trouble.
No, listen to our shift
my
commander.
cat is hungry.
Okay, here's what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to put you each in a holding cell, just for a little bit. It will
My
only.
cat is getting hungrier.
It will only be for a few hours, madam. Please don't make this harder than it needs to be. I am
How many
sorry
people
to
are in this room?
inconvenience you.
Yeah.
There's about 14 or 15 guards, and 3 or 4 convicts shackled to tables.
Let
Okay.
me rephrase that. Zuko's gonna kind of like step forward. My cat is hungry.
Azalea is like hugging Todd right now.
Can I step forward and put my hands out to like kind of quell people in my party? Walk over to the head guard and say, "Might I have a word?"
Whatever you think is wise, elf.
And I'm
Azalea's giving him
kind
like
of
a
like-
warning look.
I'm going to kind of like pull him off to the side and have a private conversation with him.
Also, are Francis's clothes typical of stereos?
Not Francis Felix's.
Oh, Felix, that, yeah.
And Azalea's would have been if she hadn't kept her colorful clothes because she liked colors.
Yeah.
But random togas are stereos clothes?
They're definitely not Jabari.
They're definitely not jail, but I mean, yes, they are. Essentially, that's what you would typically wear in stereos. Yes.
And none of us would have thought of this before we walked into a city.
We were kind of preoccupied.
Azalea should have.
I mean, Felix has been wandering around in Jalbar for quite some time and never had any problems with it. A lone child wandering around dressed as Stereosi isn't that big of a deal, so he doesn't even think.
Apparently,
All right. So you pulled this guy aside. Then what are you saying?
Is it possible to do a headphones off thing?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because this is not something I want the other players to know.
Sure. Boop-a-doop. All right. Yes, my friend.
Okay. As you might be aware, elves are interesting creatures. Unfortunately, I cannot explain everything that has been done. But those of my party, and myself included, are running from things in their past. I am running from more than many of them. It is nothing that has an effect on you. It is nothing for me that has an effect on them. It is merely something that means we must keep moving. If you detain us here, it will cause you nothing but harm. Please allow us to resupply and keep moving forward. We will be out of your hair in a few days.
Make a persuasion check or a diplomacy check.
Big money, no whammies. 19.
19. That's pretty solid. The guy's gonna think about it. I'm more than happy to help you. Listen to me. It is under any normal circumstances, I would. But there is a very important guest here tonight. We have been instructed to round up any suspicious characters, any undesirables, and to keep them away from him while he is here. Now,
Then
if
let me
I
propose. Go ahead.
I was going to say, if you could perhaps, just for the show of it, come down to the holding cells. I will send messengers to go get my commanding officer. He will be able to get you at least away from here, or at least you could stay here overnight until the person has moved on. You would not you'd be allowed to keep your weapons and everything.
May I propose something
Yes.
more amenable for all parties? We bear no attachment to a large number of the articles that made us questionable to you. We do wish to keep our own belongings, but we do not require to remain wearing them. We will remove these colors and decorations that indicate we are from elsewhere, and we will gladly go to a tavern or inn where we can spend the night and you can post guards so you know that we will not leave. We will even gladly place our weapons under your care, although my fellow elf may be less than willing to do so. But I will convince her, and we will place our weapons under your care for that night. But I do not wish to subject the halfling and the child to the holding cells. She, and I'm going to kind of like make a brief gesture, kind of hidden towards Azalea, and I'm going to say, is merely a librarian. She does not know much of the ways of the criminal system, and he is but a child. I wish to shield them from this as much as possible.
I'll tell you what. If you leave our weapons with you, they will be returned to you. And I will send. We will have guards. There is an inn right upstairs. That's where most of the guards stay, but there is always free rooms. We will put you
And
up.
because the guards stay there, they would be able to keep an eye.
Yes, and Sergeant Sabaz will stay right with you. Is that amenable to you, sir?
Allow me to speak with the members of my party, but personally, that is amenable.
All right, and believe me, this damn war has gotten everybody around this town freaking crazy.
The war is largely what I'm running from.
All right. People. There we go. Thanks, Noah.
Dancing, yeah.
All right, so Finmir will return from his conversation with the lieutenant.
Pretty sure I'm the only one here. No, it looks like he crashed.
There we go. Tasha. No, Tasha, what are you doing? There we go. All right. Cool. Alright, so Fenmir has returned from his conversation with the lieutenant.
Cool.
Did that accomplish anything?
What's happening?
I kind of
Did you make him mad?
Are we
I
back?
take a yes, we are. And it's a good thing that you noticed because you're one of the main people that needs to hear this.
Wait, what now?
I take a very, very, very deep breath, just kind of like a sigh, just. Savannah,
What?
promise me you will not strangle me.
What did you do?
I have made an agreement that is more amenable than the holding cells. We will be kept in the inn upstairs, where they will have guards posted to keep an eye that we do not leave
They
for
keep
the
an
night.
inn
Just,
above their guardhouse?
I do not understand for that, but just for tonight, we are to stay in the inn and not leave. We will remove the colors that made them notice us. Keep them with us. We can put them back the way we like it when we are done. But just for tonight,
Colors. Sorry, clarification. The colors that made them notice us?
You mean
It's-
gray?
it's Fenmir speak for basically the things about us that are different, like the different colors, the things that made us point out as like Jalbarian or not not non-Jalbarian.
Yeah.
Basically saying like we're gonna have to make ourselves look more normal as though we were citizens of the town, as normal as we can. And then we're gonna be staying in the inn upstairs where they're going to be keeping a guard posted for us. And then, and Savannah, this is where the promise not to strangle me must come in. I have told him that we would agree to leave our weapons with him for that night.
Are you kidding me?
Your greatest weapon is your magic and your cat. You have no great complaint.
I don't
I have
have any
plenty of complaints.
Well, to see if they're not losing their weapons, why we have to lose ours.
Because we are considered the threat. Cervena, you are stealthy. Keep a couple of daggers with you if you can.
I think I was going to give them all my daggers.
No, okay, okay, sure, whatever. But give them your weapons. Put on a great show of being amenable. And we will have to stay the night. But he has given me his word, as relatively worthwhile as it might be, that our weapons will be returned to us on the morning, merely as a precaution for the VIP they have in town.
What
Who's the
VIP?
they have in
Yeah,
town?
they haven't found.
I do not know.
They ought make that part of the deal.
I will do my best, but the requirement is that we are being kept under watch because they do not want us to frighten or impose upon some person that they have in town.
And when does the
I've
watch
never been
stop?
thought of as frightening.
It is one night.
Fine.
Interesting. Okay.
Do you agree?
Fine.
Doesn't seem that we have much of a choice.
Not
We needed
really.
to stop someplace anyway. Might as well be in an inn. On
At
someone
least
else's
we get a
tab.
free inn.
They're pretending they are pretending to have problems with Felix as an excuse to get to us.
I don't think.
Probably.
Regardless, it has been stated to be one night. And I turn back to the guard and I say, they have requested one additional condition with our agreement.
Yes.
They wish to know the identity of the person you are protecting.
Ah. This is a This is a difficult question for me to
It's really
answer.
not that hard. You
No,
just think,
you see,
and that's the person.
allow me to say this. You may ask anybody about town, and they will tell you the answer.
I'd
I
rather say
may
no,
not
no.
tell you the answer. Is
You
that
do
clear?
not have to give us a name, but can you give us an idea of their station?
Wait, so are you just saying we should ask any one of the other guards except you?
Anybody who's not the guard.
Okay. Is there
If everybody
there
already
anyone who's
knows,
not a guard
why are
who
you
we've
not
been
allowed to
seeing?
say?
That's really stupid.
It is part of the
Are
word.
you under an oath or something?
Yes, I am, ma'am. I am
Is
sorry.
it going
Yeah,
to kill
thought
you
so.
if you say it?
Is it going to kill me if you say it? No, it's going
He
to.
doesn't want
Say it then.
to break his moral code.
That is
That's
not.
stupid.
I'm afraid that.
His moral code. Oh, that's bull. Okay, he's literally throwing all of us
Amari.
up in the house arrest. Shut up.
Amari.
He's throwing all of us under house
Amari,
arrest
we
so
have
that he can
reached
be
an
racist,
agreement.
but he can't talk about
Just
who's
I'd
in the
like to
town.
step
I-
over to one of the convicts on the table and say,
yeah.
"Hey, buddy, who's the crazy important person in town?"
And I want to slap my hand over Amari's mouth and say to her
I'm
very
gonna bite
directly.
you. I will
I will
bite
ignore
you.
it, and I want to say to her very directly, we have made an agreement. It may be an insult to you that he does not wish to say, but do not try to make him break his rules. Trust me, sometimes
off with
rules
me.
are all that make a man. And I remove
I'm-
my hand.
You raise
Does the
your hand to me
convict answer?
again. Listen, I may not be a queen here. I may not be a queen anywhere yet. Do not do that to me.
Edgy.
the
Pose us- Did the convict answer?
convict's gonna be like, yeah. Alright. Why did just turn to Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I'll be back.
All right, Arnold.
Interesting convict.
He's a large
Is he
man.
super muscular?
Yes, he's a very muscular human man. A human man. And he's like chained to the table. He's like, yes, the name that they have heard is General Adari.
Who's that?
He is famous Tabaxi general.
Would I recognize the name?
Knowledge nobility, I guess. Knowledge
Would
nobility
I
or knowledge.
recognize the name?
Okay, so if you have knowledge local, if you have knowledge nobility, make that first. If you have knowledge local, and you are from this area, so that'd be Cervena, make knowledge local. I would like knowledge nobility from librarian lady, and I would like Ethan. I guess you'd make knowledge local too, or knowledge nobility.
30,
Do I
20.
get any sort of advantage on the
15?
check because I work directly with the militaries?
Small bonus, yes. All right,
So not advantage though.
not advantage. I will give you a bonus.
Well, it doesn't make
then.
a difference then because I got a nat 1.
You believe that you believe that General Adari is a shipping term that was used that it can be delivered essentially whenever it's the opposite of a rush order. DRE delivery rarely expected, so it's the slower. All right.
I had a 15.
Azalea.
20.
Azalea, you've heard of General Adari. You've heard the name whispered. But you've never actually, you don't know what he is or who he is. You've just heard people whispering in
Do I know
stereos.
who he's like associated with? Like which country?
You know that he is considered to be the right hand of the Pharaoh.
Okay.
So would you roll on your knowledge local?
Me?
Yes.
30, 20.
Dirty 20? General Adari, he's rather famous these days. General Adari was allegedly, this general, he started out as a child left in a bassinet at military barracks.
Unfortunate.
And he grew up like a Spartan. What?
Essentially, you know that there are some pretty outlandish rumors about this guy. There's some very outlandish rumors. So since you work in certain channels, your connection with the elves, you would know that there are a lot of rumors surrounding this guy and his life and his habits. You know the most outlandish rumor you've ever heard surrounding him is that he was the offspring of the high priest of Amansul and a succubus? That's the most outlandish you've ever heard. But this...
That's definitely outlandish.
Yes,
Taco.
But,
what the frick?
But you know that this guy he's a legendary warrior. He is there are people he is very close to the Pharaoh. He and the Pharaoh are deeply close. He is considered to be the Pharaoh's... He is her right hand. It is rumored that he spends much more time at the palace than the actual Emperor of Jalbar. This man, or rather this Tabaxi gentleman, is deeply connected to the royals. He is the commander of the army of Jalbar. He's the overall commander, but more importantly, he is the direct commander of the Queen's own protection forces. He is not just the general of the army, he is the commander of the Imperial Guard.
See, Fenmir is sitting here wondering why they're so worried about a shipping admiral finding out about this. But Ethan is sitting here going, oh my god, this guy's either going to be somebody we're going to have to kill, or somebody that's going to become our best freaking friend.
Deliver.
When we first joined Kazaroff.
Delivery rarely expected.
Is he the new the new Kazaroff?
Why does everybody assume there's going to be a new Kazaroff?
Because Kazaroff.
Also, yeah, because
He's being
Kazaroff.
introduced the
Because
same way
Kazaroff is
was.
unavoidable.
He's
Kazaroff
being
is
introduced the
expected.
same way.
Unavoidable hashtag unavoidable Kazaroff.
Are we sure that every NPC isn't just you missing Kazaroff?
Shut up, Tasha.
We do
Got Clover from it.
psychoanalysis of every character and find little bits of Kazaroff in everyone.
Yes. Alright.
There's a little bit
Because
of the
we all
author
know that
in every
Kazaroff is just
character.
the DM himself.
Maybe.
And the DM is taking parts of himself into each of his own NPCs. But by doing so, he is making Kazaroth in all of them.
As the person who played Vocus, that makes me slightly uncomfortable.
Makes me less uncomfortable because it means that, maybe it'll be Noah's turn to be back in the uncomfortable hot seat.
Yes, but this just means that Tasha's character can strike up a friendship with literally every NPC walking down the street.
You see, Tasha, what you're trying to do recently is what you're trying to do. What you're trying to do recently is you're trying to make me the one that's in the uncomfortable hot seat with the whole smitten thing.
I'm just trying to make fun of
What
you.
did I miss?
So upon meeting Clover, some things happened that Tasha apparently found amusing. And then after the fight, Clover... well, first, my strength had been sapped down to 3, which meant I wasn't even strong enough to support the weight of my armor. And so I dropped to the ground, and my armor is also my clothing because I'm wearing glamored armor. So, Clover came over and said, Fenmir, how do we get your clothes off? I said I don't think we've known each other well enough, long enough for that kind of question. And now, ever since, Sasha has been saying smitten.
Every time that Clover and Thedmere interact in a way that could be construed all that way. Ben is coming up and going,
goodness.
"Smitten."
Alright, so they are so the cap this is the lieutenant now, is the lieutenant. Very well, Lieutenant Shabazz will be staying with you. He's actually Sergeant Shabazz. That's not the promotion! He yells, and he yells to the entire office.
I'm gonna look at the captain and just kind of go, I can tell you need a good night's sleep.
Thank you! He's just gonna... my name is Lieutenant Abab, A-B-A-A-B.
I like the name.
Abab. Okay, I'm sorry, Amari. We're wrapping up. So just, he's gonna go.
What?
So we're going to escort you upstairs. So the guards, actually they don't take you outside. They just take you. They like show you. They like lead you down like around the corner in the big rooms, like where you assume there's like a privy door. But judging by the smell, there is. But he also leads you up a flight of stairs. And you're, like, into the kitchen of this tavern, and nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Tavern attached to
Yep.
your...
Yeah. You have a tavern attached to the guardhouse.
Convenient.
Out of character, y'all have a bunch of drunk guards.
Yes, they do.
That should make me definitely not handing over all my daggers be a lot more simple.
Yes, but see, they haven't asked us for our weapons yet, and we
No,
were
they
going to
haven't.
be leaving them with him. So, that's kind of been forgotten.
Wahaha.
Yeah, yes, so,
Andrew, no retconning.
I know. So, like, you guys are, like, bundled upstairs, and, like, you guys pass, like, basically, what is just, like, it's basically just guards sitting at long tables, drinking and eating, and they just all look at you as you go past, and, like, Shabazz starts, like, directing you up the stairs. He's like, waving his hand, just, like, for you guys to go up. It's just, like...
Felix is gonna play up the bloodline thing the whole time. He's gonna be using a stick in front of him like a cane, and, like, tapping into things, and...
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Gabriel.
Thanks for playing. Oh, and early good night, Kira.
Alright, so as you guys are directed upstairs, you see that there are already some guards up at the top, and they are just like, they're picking people in twos and sending them into rooms. So the people that they're going to go is they're going to send Amari and Azalea. You're in one room. Clover and Ven, you are in another room. Then you are going to be with Francis. And
Were the bards nabbed with us?
yeah, the bards are with you guys still. And
Poor bards.
and it's going to be the bards and the blind kid in the last room. And that's where we're gonna end for tonight. And the guards are just like stationing people. You guys hear the doors close and you hear the doors lock from the outside.
Before they lock them in, can Azalea ask if they have anything small that they could eat? She'll mention that if they need to, they'll try to pay for it from the tavern, but she's really hungry.
Oh, yes. I will see that you get food. The sergeant
Thank you.
Sabaz is just going.
Thank
Yes,
you so
yes,
much.
yes.
I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's the times.
I know you have a lot on your plate, I'm sure.
Yes.
It's okay that you didn't think about it.
It's alright. You just go like close the door and lock. You just hear outside. You just hear. No. And you just hear thunk, 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 thunk. Feet going downstairs.
Ah, the pitter patter of little feet.
Alright, and that's where we're gonna end for tonight, everybody.
Good.
Quotes?
What a day.
What a day.
Alright. Ethan, do you want the first quote? Or the second?
I'll take the second.
Alright.
Oh dear.
The first quote from today's list is, Felix is gonna stay in the house with the corpses. There's less to do.
There's jungle bison now, Tasha. Jungle bison confirmed, Andrew. It's canon.
It's a DRE, delivery rarely expected. It's the opposite of a rush order.
And lastly, we don't have many. The bards and the blind kid in the last room.
Alright.
Sounds like the
Sorry.
band. The Bards
Yeah.
and the Blind Kid.
For such an odd session, we didn't have a lot of quotes.
You know, if we could make Azalea riding a horse into a quote, it'd be fantastic. But it's just not.
It could be an action
We're
quote.
just gonna put it down.
It's an experience.
The experience of Azalea trying to ride a horse.
The Azalea horse experience.
I'm Azalea.
Alright.
So, if
The
we're
time
closing
Azalea
out,
tried to ride a horse while possessed by an evil sword.
Yes.
I think it would be best to say goodnight, Kira. Peace out, Scott, if you're watching. It's been a wonderful time. And good night, Internet.
Good night, Internet. You guys are fantastic.